flame. Cigars in hand, never playing tame. Pour the whiskey, let it burn real slow. On the Real Smoke Pod, cancel stories flow. Guess we're rolling with a spark in their eyes, talking life's truths and throwing lies. Laughter, crack, fire alive. Cuba to Kentucky, they always thrive. Real smoke rises in the air tonight. Whiskey's bold, they keep it tight. Stories spark like a flaming glow. Mick and Charles stealing the show.
Welcome to the Real Smoke Podcast with your host, Mick and Charles, the podcast that's all about real people, real cigars, and real smoke. Coming to you live from the Real Smoke Virtual Cigar Lounge, bringing you the best of cigars, whiskey, and times in between. This is more than just a podcast, it's a community of cigar lovers. So grab your favorite smoke, pour a drink, and join us as we dive into all things cigars, whiskey, and just having a damn good time. This is the Real Smoke Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 34 of the Real Smoke Podcast. We are your host. That feller's Mick. I'm Charles. Before we get started, we need to have some words. We need to talk to some people. Some people need to talk to us. Let's hear from the Cigar Vault in Oakdale.
Hey, Real Smoke family. It's Norm from the Cigar Vault, Oakdale. We're a small boutique shop located out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You can find us online at www.thecigarvault.com. Today I want to talk about a couple of new releases we have in the shop. First and foremost is HDA's Phantom Fury. We've got a few boxes left of these. These are all numbered boxes and signed by both the owners, Zack and Andray. The second one I want to talk about is a re-release of one of my favorite Caldwells that ever came out, which was the Savage. So the Savage, if you all don't know, the Savage was lost in the fire that happened at William Ventura's factory. But this is a re-release of the Savage. It's got the Savage band on it. Both of these are available in store and online.
Well, that he cut that one off really quickly. Go check him out at Cigar Vault at thecigarvault.com. Use code RealSmoke. Save you something. Okay. We got a lot of people that we've had in some of the chats asking us where they can get some good online cigars. We say it every week. We've said it 34 different times. The Cigar Vault. cigarvault.com. Use code RealSmoke. Do the shit. What's up, Mick?
Man, not much. I like the video idea, man. You're just brilliant, man. I know you're still slowing down and catching up and getting ready for this show because you got to end a little late, man. But you're doing some awesome stuff, man. That video idea was phenomenal. That's great, man. It gives them a little something new every week. I like it, man. But yeah, happy Juneteenth to you. It was nice to have the day off. Nice to have the day off work today. And
what does that? What does that mean?
I know you didn't.
Who has days off of work?
Don't you? You start vacation tomorrow, don't you? I think. Don't you?
I get on the road at 5:00 in the morning, so I will get done doing all the post stuff on this about midnight, and I'm up at 4 and leaving by 5. So yes, vacation starts. I will be somewhere in North Carolina in 12 hours from now.
Know that I appreciate you more than I can say, man. I know I bring it up on here a lot, but you do so much, brother. Thank you. But no, man, went did a little golfing today. First time in almost 3 years. I haven't golfed since I moved to Memphis. And I actually was only like 4 or 5 over par, and which is fucking amazing. I don't know if I've ever golfed that good in my life. My buddy who golfs at least once or twice a week, I tied him today. So like I'm kind of on a little bit of a high from that, man. It was good. And I enjoyed a good cigar in the course. I enjoyed that Christoph that we got in our smoke inbox. I didn't know what to expect on that one. And it was a great cigar. Maybe it'll be my golf cigar from now on. It was awesome. So really good day, man.
Well, last time I tried to play, I said try to play golf. My best hit, I would say the ball went only about 20 yards behind me. behind me. Let me say this again. My best hit was 20 yards behind me.
That's a
I don't
trick
know
shot.
how I hit the ball that way and it went that way.
That's
That's my best shot. Yes. So, next time I'll face away from everything and try to hit the ball the other way. So, yeah, I kick some ass at putt, but when it comes to golf, I suck. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that was one of my things on here. Vacation for me starts next week. So we are in part 2 of the ending of season 2. Because like we always say, we're doing 2 seasons a year. We'll go 5.5 months, take a couple of weeks off. This time it was mixed. Then we were back and then it was mine. But we're going to try to close that up a little bit. But we're going to do 5 or 6 months on, take a couple of weeks off, do another 5 or 6 months on, take another couple of weeks off. So it kind of gives us a break in the summertime and it gives us a break for Christmas and New Year's. So, and that's our 2 seasons. So we will end season 2 with this episode. So these awesome guys that we're about to bring on here in a minute I couldn't think of a better way to close season 2.
Oh, yeah.
But I also can't think of a better way to open season 3.
Yeah.
Should we let that one out?
Do we hang them on till the end of the show, or do we just talk about it?
We'll talk. Nah. Okay. Penelope's got a new whiskey out, and we have to say thank you to Penelope Whiskey, Penelope Bourbon, because Penelope Bourbon hooked your boys up with a bottle each.
Yeah.
They not only sent us a bottle of their new cigar sessions, but the public relations officer for the company said, "Oh, by the way, would you like to have the founders on your next podcast?"
Amazing.
Well, yeah. So what's going on is next in 2 weeks when we come back, we will be not really reviewing the new Penelope, but we're going to have everybody who is involved. Sin Coburn, Josh Coburn, Lee Marsh. We're going to have Donnie on, who is kind of someone who got that started. And we're either going to have one or both of the founders for Penelope on as well. So if you wanted a really good way to kick off season 3, there you go. So
yeah,
we got that one coming up.
Give a shout out to your wife on that one also, who kind of hooked that up for our bottles. So I won't go too deep into that, but thank you. Jennifer has been saying for months that she wanted to be the public relations person for the podcast and start trying to get people signed up. And I was just joking with her and said, because when she brought it up again, I just started joking. I said, "I got a mission for you." She's like, "What?" I said, "Tennessee's not a state that's getting the new cigar sessions. And when we come back, we have the podcast with the people who put it all together, Sin and all them." And she's like, "Okay." I was like, "Find me a way to get this whiskey." She freaking hunted down the public relations officer for the company and has been talking to him about every day for a week now. And he's like, "Hell yeah, we got you covered. Let's do this." And by the way, since it's the first podcast people's going to be talking about this on, do you want to get the founders on? Sure, let's do it. Yeah. So I got to say, the last week I was trying my ass off to find a way to get us a bottle for you and me for the show. And I was hitting dead ends everywhere. And I was just talking to another guy at work, and he was like, "Hey man, did you try this route? Blah, 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 whatever." We were back and forth all day about it and emailing people. And the wife calls me at work and she's like, "Just had a knock at the door. You're not going to believe this." And I was like, "Fucking Charles." And I messaged you and you're like, "Nope, it was the wife." So man, props. Thank you. Amazing. Like I was blown away because I was hitting every dead end, man.
Yeah, she kicked ass on that one. So great job, baby. You did a fantastic job. We both say you're hired. So really quickly before we jump into things, we've got people in the chat. Remember, guys, if you want to try to win one of tonight's prizes, we are giving away 2 gift cards to the Cigar Vault in Oakdale. We are giving away a prize pack from Katie Cigars, as well as the best beard care products God ever made, Beard Apothecary. So we'll give some of that stuff away. What else? We have some chat. Speaking of Beard Apothecary, that ugly
There
mug
you go.
right there. Look at that. It says game on. That's me telling everybody what's up. Cigar Apostles on here says, yo, let's go. Greg's on here says, what's up, guys? Michigan repping the TriStar Herf crew. That's what I'm saying.
Hells yeah.
Cigars with Angel says, what's up, fellas?
What's up, Angel?
John's over here saying, Norm. What's up, guys? Got it. Josephus on here saying, I'm laying on my belly with my heels pointed up and my chin nestled in my palms, watching on my phone. Or is that way too much info? Sweet.
Hey, so
that's all.
So
I
while you're going through these, back up to the last comment. I want to make sure this is the same guy. I need to tell him one last story, and I'm done for the day. Yeah. So this dude. So he. I did not want to say his name because you know how great I am with pronunciation.
Raul.
Yeah, but I think it's Raul Angel. So anyway, so he messaged me midweek, man, and him and Mark are actually going to get together because Raul is also from Texas area. He drives big truck, and he wrote out this heartfelt message to me. I'm not going to get too deep on it, but Raul, thank you, because he said that we give him, that peace of mind when he's on the road and kind of keeps his head straight. He listens to every show. He re-listens to some, whatever, but he listens to us every time when he's on the road away from his family. And he was happy to be accepted by our community, by the bourbon community, and just good people that have kind of kept his head straight while he's on the road. So Raul, man, we got you, and we thank you for your support. And let us know when you get together with Mark. Oh, and by the way, your stickers will be in the mail by Monday. I'm sending him some stickers for some photo ops when he meets up with Mark. So, but
definitely get some pictures when you meet up with Mark. And brother, if we help keep your head on straight, your head's as crooked as ours. So, I mean, love it. Let's see. Joseph says Charlestown, North Carolina, I'm assuming. No, I am going into Morehead City to watch a baseball game. Then I'm going to go down and tour the USS North Carolina. And then I'm going to drive the wife all the way down the coastline, all the way into Charleston. And we're going to be staying outside of Charleston. So we do our anniversary in the Charleston area every year. So that's where we're going to be. So if anybody's in that area over the next 10 days, hit me up. We'll tell you where we're going to be at a cigar lounge because we usually hit one up every day. Come hang out with us, smoke something, and let us know. Let us know what you think about the show, too. Little baby Debbie's on here. He says, what's up, people? Jordan says, what does Jordan say? Jordan says, what's up, bud? And him, the lovely miss in that photo. No. Oh, no, it's the end. What's the end? Whose end? What are you doing with the end? There's a lot of shit on here. Guys, I absolutely love the fact that you guys are commenting and talking amongst yourselves. All right, making a comeback. Been out for a minute, but I'm back in it to win it. Loser. What else? So, folks, smoking the Psalmist here in Hey, it's DJ Zerk. Our brother from
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah, that is the guy that's coming to the United States. That his name is different on Instagram from YouTube. So he said he was going to switch his name. Apparently, that didn't happen yet. But yeah, that's my buddy from New Zealand, man. I didn't put the two and two together. I guess I should have known because it's New Zealand. But yeah. I'm going to get him some stickers while he's here in the U.S. as well. So looking forward to meeting up with him.
Well, DJ, whenever you do meet up with the one and only Mick, make sure that you guys go live. That way I can get to talk to you and say hi to you and stuff like that too. It'd be lovely to meet somebody from out your way. Because, I mean, dang, man. That's awesome. Some distance. All right. Anyways. Y'all keep chatting it up over there. If you've got any questions, make sure that you put them in the comments. We'll do our best to get to them. We are smoking a fantastic cigar tonight. That cigar is going to be brought to you by this group right here. Does everybody see them?
Yep.
Nope. Can't see them. So I will let Mick go ahead and talk about the cigar before I do the ad read. Mick, here is your cigar.
Tonight, we are smoking the HDA Cigars Veiled Mutiny, the wrapper, Ecuadorian Maduro, binder, Nicaraguan, filler, Nicaraguan, price $14.50, and that's brought to you by Smoke In Cigar of the Month Club.
Now, you can find these cigars at the Cigar Vault Oakdale, as well as their newest cigar that they've got coming out, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But again, this cigar is brought to you by Smoke Inn. Join Smoke Inn Cigar of the Month Club and get 5 premium cigars delivered to your door every month. Discover hidden gems, classic favorites, and exclusive blends. Shit, I can't talk tonight. Damn. Selected just for you. Use code RSNEW to claim your free Smoke Inn torch lighter and perfect cutter. It's going to be one of those nights. I have a case of the mix, and I can't speak clearly. So
Love it.
He did tell us all about that one. So before we introduce our guest, which they're waiting in the green room ever so patiently, we do need to talk to the sponsor of our guest tonight, and it is Destination Cigars.
Good morning, folks. Chuck with Destination Cigars. I'm back in the Sevierville location at 248 Collier Drive. And this morning, I'm trying to get things ready for the Drew Estate event that occurs at the end of the month on the 27th, 28th, and 29th. This 3-day event will have food, we'll have fun, we'll have swag, and we will have great deals on Drew Estate lines. Box sales will be discounted 25%. Also, Tom, who's the national salesperson for Drew Estates, will be here with us. So I hope you have an opportunity to get out, enjoy the fun. You have a great day.
Huge thanks to everybody over at Destination Cigars, and they have their brand new line of cigars out called Allegory Cigars. So go check them out. You can check them out at destinationcigars.com. Thanks, Chuck, and your team over at Destination and Allegory. Today, we got some amazing people with us. Guys, make sure that your mics are turned on because we won't hear a dang thing that you say if you don't. But we have Zack and Andray over here with HDA Cigars. What's up, boys?
What's going on, Phil?
We are just hanging around looking pretty and trying to make sure that we don't create a shit show like we did last week because everybody was watching that one. Good Lord, it was crazy.
It was like our first show last week. It really was.
Our first show was a whole lot better than what we did last week. I'm just saying. Dear God.
Yeah, we're
all right, guys. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves.
Zach, go ahead. Kick it off.
I'll kick it off, guys. I'm Zach. I'm one of I am the lesser of the half of HDA, and excited to be on with you guys. Thank you very much for having us.
How y'all doing? I'm Andray, the other half of HDA. Zach and I make jokes, so we're practically married to each other when it comes to HDA. So nice to be here. Also, for you guys, real quick before you kick off, Charles, I need you to go back and watch Caddyshack because I couldn't stop laughing about your golf swing. And then
100%.
Because you're in Memphis, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, Memphis, man. Memphis. It never ends around here.
All right, guys. So one of the things that we like to do here is not only talk about what's going on now, but we like to talk about the past because the past is who built you guys and is what brought you guys together. So I'm going to let Andray go first. Andray, tell us about where you grew up. What was you like as a kid? Was you one of those nice, polite young men, or was you a hellraiser?
Oh, man. Charles, that's a fantastic question. It kind of feeds into what I mentioned about Memphis. So my parents' ideal of a vacation was going to Memphis. I'm actually from Little Rock, Arkansas, born and raised, country boy at heart. Oldest out of 5. I'm the only one that had a different father, unfortunately, but my stepdad was there all my life, so no complaints on that. Tough living, the standard, growing up in that environment, all of those things I dealt with, I lived it in North Little Rock, Arkansas, and Little Rock. And at some point in my life, I realized that I had to make a change for myself. And at the age of 15, I think I joined JRTC at high school, fell in love with that. And I was like, you know what? The military has to be my out. It's got to be the only way. Nobody was talking about college. I worked in a family-owned barbecue pit from 15 to 17. Only in the South you can do things like that, right?
Yeah,
and
no doubt.
there were people that worked in that barbecue pit that went to high school with my mother. So put that in, perspective, right? Making $4.25 an hour. So at 17 years old, I left for the United States Army, the best decision I ever made in my life. I stated joined in 97, multiple tours, 2 tours to Iraq, a tour to Bosnia and Herzegovina in 99. Yep, I'm dating myself a little bit.
There you go.
Throughout the military career, I started off enlisted from E2, worked my way up to be an E6. And at that E6 point, as a signal guy, common radio communications, I saw the transition of IT in the military and decided that was something I wanted to get into. So the next best decision I ever made in the military was becoming a warrant officer. So I went to warrant officer school in January of 2007, became a warrant officer, and I landed in 4th Brigade. I landed in 4th ID 2nd Brigade at Fort Carson, Colorado, which was another milestone in my life because I ended up meeting my wife, who was also a military officer at the time, West Point grad, by the way. And that kind of goes into my cigar journey. So around that time frame, on a deployment to Iraq, to be exact, I was smoking less than desirable cigars and kind of met my wife, and she was like, "You should smoke good stuff." And she got me Cigar of the Month Club for the remainder of the year we were in Iraq, and my cigar journey kind of started from there.
So
there's a lot to touch on there.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of doors left open on that one.
So,
yeah, let's go, brother.
So I'm going to back up a little bit. So Little Rock, Arkansas. I've only been here about 2 years, and I came here for my career. I also have a government career. I don't really talk about it on here too much, but I moved down here for my career. I'll probably be moving on again soon, but the government's kind of a mess right now. But that's a whole other story. But Little Rock, really, people don't talk about. It's pretty rough there too, man. Like it's like I know some people that live out that way because they commute over here for work and what have you. And it's not a whole lot above where Memphis is right now for crime and craziness going on. I know the drug use is off the chain out there. So tell us a little bit more about what you're growing up out there. I mean, was it that way when you grew up as well, or was it more country then?
Look, I don't know if you guys remember. Like I said, I'm a little bit older, but the documentary "Banging in Little Rock," I'll tell you, I probably knew about 85% of the people that were on that documentary.
Wow.
And I can say that the vast majority of them are probably still incarcerated or dead.
Wow.
There was a lot of gang activity where I grew up. I grew up in North Little Rock. Well, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but there was, project housing, all of those things. We lived in a 700 square foot duplex. It's where I started my life. 5 kids, 2 adults. And it just kind of went from there. So I know what that looks like. Saw all the drug use, saw the gang activity, all of those things. Had friends that were in gangs that sold drugs. I saw it all. But what I've learned over the years as you get older, just because you're from that environment, it doesn't define you, right? And it's on you to carve your own path. I feel like we're all dealt this hand, and it's how you play your cards, right, in life. And I'm a living example that you can get out of that environment, right?
So you just said that. One of the things that you said was, living in that environment, one of the things that you thought of, military, that'll get me out of it. So I've lived a little bit of everywhere. My wife is from Memphis, but I've lived a little bit of everywhere. I've lived everything from, middle class up where we're at now to where I lived in Kentucky. My next door neighbor still did not have running water. I've lived a suburb of Orlando, used to live the summers in Atlanta, downtown Atlanta. Lived in Spartanburg, South Carolina, which is not a good place. But one of the things that I remember from Eastern Kentucky, where I used to live, was it was a lot of the same way. It wasn't crime as in violence. It was crime as in drugs. As when meth was hitting real bad. It was when coke was on its way out, but meth was on its way in. And that was the biggest thing that, my friends, they were either, most of the people I grew up with are either in the ground or they're serving time or they're in the military. And that was the way out, was to join the Marine Corps, because the Marine Corps was the big branch of the military that, promoted where we lived. So what was that moment, a little long-winded way of saying, what was that moment where you were growing up that you can remember that was like, you know what, military it is? it was that defining factor?
Well, I think it was two for me. Joining ROTC, I knew that was something I was interested in, and there was no other avenues. You know, I didn't take an ACT, even though I have a computer information technology degree now. We'll talk about that later. But my parents were talking about college. Nobody went to college, so I really didn't know what my path was going to look like graduating. However, as you stated, I had a moment, and living in that duplex, I think I was probably about 13 or 14 years old, and the OBGYN that actually delivered my siblings, long story but crazy, right? Show you how life works for you. Invited my parents to a house for a social event, not in the same social class, none of those things, right? But he invited us to his house for a social event. And we go to an area in Little Rock called Chenal Parkway. Remember it vividly. We get over there, and there's this giant mansion. And I'm looking at this house and I'm like, this is unbelievable, right? So we go inside of the house. I'm standing in this guy's foyer, and, you know, the dual staircases, you know, all of these things. And I'm like, oh my God, like, where are we? Like, we're completely out of our element, right? And to be completely honest, you know, I'm standing there and I feel like physically I can't move. And I look over and a guy puts his arm around me, and he looks just like me. And I look over at him, and his name was Dr. Rufus Thor. He's still a doctor in Little Rock, Arkansas to this day. And he looked at me, he said, young man, you okay? I said, no, I'm not, sir. I was like, this is your house? He was like, yeah. He's like, all of this. I was like, all of this is your house? He's like, yeah. He told me, he said, young man, you can do whatever you want to do if you put your mind to it. And let me tell you, he changed my life forever. So I think that was a defining moment for me, that I knew that I could get out of the environment. If I grind, if I hustle hard, I could be successful. And when I had kids of my own, you know, I could show them that path and what it takes to get there. Even though they don't know what that life looks like, you know, I do, right? But again, as I stated, you know, that doesn't define you. You can get out of those environments and you can do whatever you want. I.e. run a cigar business with my brother Zack over there.
Hell yeah. And we'll get to Zack here in just 2 seconds, but I do have one more follow-up question. Does your family still live out there? You don't have to go into any kind of detail. I was just curious if they're all still out in the—
Oh, yeah, absolutely, brother. I'm the only one that left, man, took off. Siblings still got a part, you know, part of the system. Actually, brother just went to jail last week. So, you know, it is what it is.
Again, you don't need to go into detail. I was just curious because it's awesome to see your side of it, you know what I mean? And it is all an individual thing that if you put your mind to it, man, you can absolutely do anything. So awesome, man. Love to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
All right, Zack. So you're in the spotlight now. Let's jump into Zack growing up. Where'd you grow up? What kind of kid was you? Was you a good kid, or was you that little hellraiser? Can't have two good kids on here,
dude. Yeah, how am I supposed to follow that up, dude? What? Dang, I should have gone first, Dre. Remind me next time. I'll go first. It's
the next time you're on with Dr. Phil, Zack goes first.
There we go. Nah, so I born and spent a good chunk of my childhood in Des Moines, Iowa. So farm country, man. We got more pigs than we do people in the state of Iowa. That is a fact. Born and raised in Iowa. Came from a very humble beginnings. My dad was prior Army, and when I was born, he was still a cadet in the Des Moines Police Department. My mom was going to school for nursing. When I was in kindergarten, moved down to Augusta, Georgia, with my see. I got John over here talking shit. That's about right. Moved down to Augusta, Georgia, with my mom, and went through all of elementary school in Augusta, Georgia, and then when I hit middle school, I moved back up to Iowa and finished out my childhood in Des Moines, Iowa. Graduated from high school when I was 18. Oh, and I wouldn't say I was a hellion, but I definitely realized pretty early on that the traditional path of high school to college to just, you know, a job back home in Iowa, it's like there's a lot of insurance businesses that are based in Des Moines, Iowa. So a lot of people that I went to school with ended up going to college, or didn't go to college at all. But if they went to college, they ended up going and selling insurance. And I just knew that that was not even remotely something that interested me. So when I was, I think it was 3 weeks after I turned 18, graduated high school, and immediately left for Air Force basic training. Did one enlistment with the Air Force, supporting Air Force Special Operations Command, working closely with aircraft, in particular the MQ-1 and MQ-9 Predator Reaper. Spent my enlistment doing it, and then got out and have been supporting the government or the DoD in some form or fashion ever since. Been spent a majority of my life closely connected to air operations, and really kind of developed an affinity for aircraft, and specifically air operations for the Department of Defense, man.
So growing up as an Iowa,
I don't have any awesome like Little Rock, Arkansas stories, unfortunately.
damn, Andre, how dare you do that to him?
I mean, I'm telling you, he stole all the thunder. How am I supposed to compete?
So Iowa's big and known for wrestling. Did you wrestle when you were in school?
Nah, man, I couldn't. I don't even know how wrestling is scored. I don't understand wrestling even remotely. I played football and baseball, a little bit of basketball. I wasn't good, but a little bit of basketball. But no, I don't know. I don't know squat about wrestling, man. That's like one of the most common questions I get when I tell people I'm from Iowa. They're like, "Oh yeah, man, talk about like Cale Sanderson, I guess, and like talk about all the wrestling." Yeah, I wish I knew a damn thing about wrestling, but I don't, unfortunately.
Yeah, Penn State and Iowa are the two, like, for the last 20 fucking years that everybody talks about. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. And now it's women's basketball. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
This is totally off subject, but this is what we do here. Isn't Iowa also where that Cedar Rapids movie was from? You guys ever see that? And everybody's an insurance salesman. You guys see that?
What's it called?
Cedar Rapids. No? Nobody?
No, I don't think I've seen that. It's a movie?
It's fucking hilarious. It's a great movie.
I gotta check it out.
What's the dude's name from The Office that plays Andy? You know who I mean? The fucking and he's also a Hangover.
Yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Ed Helms. Yeah, Ed Helms is in it.
Yeah.
It is a hilarious movie, and I swear it's in Iowa, and everybody's an insurance agent, and they go to this big anyway. Sorry,
dude, it's a real thing, man. Like, there's a bunch of like those insurance companies that are based out of there. I mean, so many people that I grew up with, like, they just took this like pre-paved route, if you will, through college to these insurance companies. And hey, man, that if that's for you, more power to you. I knew that I would bang my head up against the wall every day. I unfortunately don't have the patience or the desire even to remotely have that type of job, man. More power to you, though.
We'll go ahead and let Zach start on this one, since we don't want somebody stealing the thunder.
Yeah.
So you're in the military now. You said you worked reapers and things like that. As somebody who you said you like to work closely with aircraft, when it comes to aircraft, new, old, or hopefully coming up in the future, what is your favorite aircraft?
That's a good question, man. I mean, it's kind of hard to say anything other than the A-10 Warthog. I mean, it's a pretty badass aircraft. I just because of the job that I had when I was in the military, and then after I got out, I ended up spending about 30 months as a contractor in Afghanistan, where I was flying on the C-12 aircraft, doing combat missions out of Bagram. I spent a little bit of time down at Leatherneck, down in Helmand Province, Afghanistan. The amount of times that we were like in the vicinity and running operations with the A-10 Warthogs, I mean, it was just, it didn't matter how many times I interacted with those aircraft. It was just freaking awesome, man. I mean, just pure devastation brought to you from the United States of America. It's a pretty gnarly aircraft, and they can survive like just getting tore apart and somehow still always seem to make it back.
They were the master of distribution of freedom seeds to people that needed it.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's a pretty solid aircraft. I would also say too, man, like I think I have an affinity for the MQ-1 Predator. It was the first, what people call drones. I mean, it was a groundbreaking aircraft. I was very fortunate to spend my career very early on in the life of the MQ-1 Predator. So I was like kind of on the cutting edge of the drone warfare, and did some really cool stuff, man. Got to be a part of some really cool missions. So I mean, it's got a soft spot in my heart and always will.
So, first off, I guess we maybe should have started with this. Thank you both for your service, because I mean we're huge supporters of anything veteran owned on this show, especially when you guys are putting out bangers like you are, and we'll get to that. But
Thank you.
My dad was also Air Force. He was in the Korean War. My dad's 91. My dad's an old, pissed off, ornery bastard like every day now, and like I keep wanting to hear more of his like military stories and his wartime stories. But my favorite one is I guess my older brother, who's like 20 some years older than me. I was an OPS child and what have you. But all my family was in the military. But my dad actually basically stole a plane to fly home to not miss the birth of his child. And like, I guess you could get away with that back then. And he never got in any kind of trouble for it. It was insane. He was somewhere at a base. I don't even know. I think it was somewhere down south. And he actually stole a plane, not stole a plane, but he talked to his sergeant or whatever. And he's like, I'm taking this plane. I'm getting home. And actually flew home for the birth of his child. So it's
he
crazy.
Strategically acquired a plane.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, he's 91
and
now.
Relocated.
Yeah. But no, it's pretty cool, man. My entire family was in the military, and I that was kind of my plan as well. But I got really fucked up legs. Doctor said I'd never walk, and they wouldn't take me. But then I basically faked my way through it to get into the job I'm in now. So I mean, I probably could have done that as well. But no, we have the highest regard for all you guys, man, and everything you do. And man, it's awesome to see you guys succeeding on the level you're at, and something we love, and it's just cool to see.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. The military roots run deep in my family. I mean, my dad served in the first Gulf War. My stepdad was in Vietnam. My grandpa was in World War II. Brother that was Air Force. Another brother that was Navy. My half brother now is in the Air Force. He joined a year ago. So yeah, the military roots run deep in my family, man. And so I like to think I made a conscious decision to join the military, but I feel like it was kind of in the stars that it was going to happen,
So, Zach, you said you got deployed. Where was it that you said you were deployed? And my question actually is, while deployed, what is one of your most memorable moments while being deployed?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. So I spent all of my deployed time to the country of Afghanistan. I think it was like a combined 30 months in country, split primarily between Bagram Air Base. I'm like kind of just outside of Kabul, or what used to be Bagram Air Base. I guess it's not there anymore. And Helmand Province, where I spent most of my time either on Leatherneck, Bastion, and then also Fob Lashkargah. So yeah, about 30 months total to Afghanistan. So the most memorable moment, I'll tell you I have two. I'm going to say two. My very first deployment, it was kind of like one of those things. It was, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. Landed in Kabul, spent like 4 or 5 days in Kabul, and then ended up getting sent down to Helmand. And my very first night on Leatherneck, we took like 15 rounds of IDF. And I say this isn't quite as memorable because I ended up sleeping through the entire like barrage of IDF that we took in direct fire. So I was shooting rockets on the base, alarms are going off. I slept through everything. So I came into work the next morning. They're like, dude, we thought you were dead, man. Like, we did roll call and nobody, like, you didn't answer. Like, we didn't know what the hell was going on. And I was like living in temporary like housing. So they weren't even sure I was there. I slept through everything. So I would say that's like one of my funny stories, like to recall. But the one that really like was probably the most memorable is when I got to Fob Lashkargah. I was on night shift and I would get off at like 3 or 4 in the morning. I go back to, we were sleeping in tents and on cots, and I remember that one of the very first nights I'm like laying down and I'm getting ready to go to bed. And the way that Fob Lashkargah was situated is it was surrounded up 100% by the city of Lashkargah. So it was like smack dab in the city. And that very first morning, call to prayer happened, and you could hear the call to prayer, like it would start on one side and it would progressively surround you as all the mosques started over the loudspeakers, like announcing the call to prayer. And you realize, like at that point, like you are 100% surrounded by like the Afghan village of Lashkargah. And it was kind of one of
You're
those
no
like, oh
longer
yeah,
in Kansas anymore,
I,
Toto.
I'm not in Iowa anymore.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was one. That was probably one of my more memorable moments.
Wow. Yeah, that makes the hair stand up, man, for sure.
hmm Especially when they referred to your tent, specifically where your tent was situated as a grenade alley, because they were right there on the other side, and they could just toss one over. But
Nice.
Wow.
So my last one on you being deployed and working military, I guess, as someone who is a fan of the Reaper, what is it about the Reaper drone you like so much?
yeah, I mean, so the Reaper, its predecessor was the Predator, right? It was, and I'm sure there might be somebody that wants to correct me, and they might be right, but it was the very first remote controlled, so like unmanned aerial vehicle that they actually put munitions on. And I mean, it's pretty gnarly when they developed this aircraft to not really incorporate munitions, and then they're like, man, we got to figure out a way to put like bombs on this thing. So then they just strap a bunch of anti-tank missiles onto the wings of this aircraft and decide to fly it over into places where we physically can't be located, to see, observe, and then eventually, finish targets that otherwise would not be able to be accessed. And all doing it without putting a soldier or an airman's life in danger. I mean, it's pretty sick. We were able to take part in a lot of really cool operations that otherwise, we just would not have been able to have been accomplished. Flying in places that other people are not able to access or aren't even allowed. It was a really, really cool job, man. It was it's a special aircraft because it's kind of like a groundbreaking aircraft. It was definitely the first of its kind.
I mean, leave it to America to be like, hey, let's take this remote control airplane that we're flying around. Let's put a camera on it. Oh crap!
Damn right.
If we put a camera on it, can we put weapons on there? Let's try it. Can we make this thing even more deadly? Let's do it. Leave it to America to just go. Let's take something that a normal kid would be flying around in his yard, attach a freaking missile to it, and then take out somebody from 1,000 miles away.
Oh, you're getting me all hot and bothered just talking about it.
Yeah, it's like, oh. So, Andre, we'll move on to you now. America. So you told us where you were deployed. Let us know again. Where all were you deployed, and what were some of the?
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
I think he might have froze.
Yep, I think he did.
Well, you heard most of the question, so we'll go with it, man. It's okay. He'll be back eventually. It'll be all right.
Yeah, no problem. So we'll go back. I stated I joined in 97, September of 97 to be exact. And first duty assignment, Fort Drum, New York, 10th Mountain Division. In March of 98, -15 and 4 feet of snow on the ground. So for me as a country boy, I was like, what did I get myself into? And then literally July 99, we deployed to Bosnia and Herzegovina. So there he is. He's back.
There he is. You're all right, brother. I'll finish your sentences. It's just like one of those love stories, man. I'll finish your sentences. It'll be all right.
Aww.
But yeah, so first deployment 1999, Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Go ahead. Sorry.
E3, and I realized that this is real, right? So that first deployment, 9 months. We got back from that deployment in late 2000, and second deployment kicked off. Well, that transition from E3, E4, and enlisted all the way up to being a staff sergeant. So multiple duty assignments. Korea, Germany, Iraq, Bosnia, everywhere, right? So I think I was in Korea when I started to make that transition, being a radio guy. So line of sight radios, UHF, VHF, all those things is what I did enlisted. But as stated, I watched the transition of IT in the military, and I was like, oh, I definitely want to get into that. You mean tell me I could sit in front of this computer and do cool things? That's awesome. So made that transition to warrant officer when I was actually stationed in Germany. And this is around 2006, got selected, and then went on in 2007 to be a warrant. Got the 2nd Brigade, 4th ID in Fort Carson, and they were like, Chief, we're ramping up. We're getting ready to go to Iraq in 2 years or a year. And I was like, okay, well, great, let's do that. So went to Iraq in 2008. My primary job as the chief warrant officer in the S6 is to stand up the tactical network to ensure they have comms and what we call C2, command and control for the commander. Some people like to say C4, command control, computers, all of those things, communication, right? And my 06 came to me. You talked about a defining moment being deployed. My colonel came, Butch A. Kevenar, and he was like, Chief, he was like, if I can't communicate, I have dead soldiers. And that resonated for me. And I knew then that my job was very important to ensure that we can do what we need to do downrange and accomplish the mission. I think that was one defining moment I had. Another kind of funny story, when you deploy, you get real close to everybody, right? When the bombs start flying, you got to get to safety as quick as possible. So we jumped around a lot in 2008, Kirkuk, Tikrit, Diwania, everywhere. But we went back to the Basra province, and that was basically like, as Zach stated, like IED Alley, right? I mean, we were getting shot at every single day. And we literally, in our containerized housing units, we lived in what we call coffin beds. It was cinder blocks built with a slab of iron on it and sandbags on top, and you crawl through the side of it. So that's how you got in your bed, and your mattress was inside of that. And then the second part was, you never know how comfortable you are till you get caught in the shower and IEDs are flying and you run into a bunker, and then there's 4 of your comrades in there with towels wrapped around them too. So it is what it is.
Don't lie, Dre. You didn't bring a towel. Come on. Don't lie.
Hey, I'm comfortable in my element. I'm good.
Absolutely. No, I will say, man, I'm not anywhere near what you guys just said, but what I do is also kind of, and you become brothers, and you become closer than you ever thought possible coming into something like that, man, because your life does depend on it, man. So that's an amazing story, man. I know that stuff obviously sticks with you throughout your life, and I'm sure it's a good reason why. Did we lose Charles again? I think we lost Charles again. But a reason why you two are so tight, man, that you guys really, you know what that bond is all about and what it really means.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah, man.
So I guess I'm running the interview now. Cool. Usually Charles leads and I follow, but we're going now.
We're doing it live.
We are, man. That's what we do. We go. I will say we are kind of proud of that because we're one of the only ones that go live. We don't edit shit. We just have fun and we just go where it goes, man. We follow the story, and it's as much of your guys' show as it is ours tonight. So, hey, Charles is back.
100%. What's up?
What's up?
Hey, have we started the podcast yet? Just wanted to know. Are you ready to go live? I think we're ready to go live. Are we ready to go live?
There's no dead air, man. We got this. We got this. So
I will say the one thing I am glad about is that I've heard some of that story before, but on my end, all it sounded like was so it's like I felt like I was back in the early 2000s, and I had that little Nokia phone up there trying to go through the mountains and try to talk on it. So I mean, that welcome to my world. Obviously, so, we have a storm coming in.
6K modem. I mean, when AOL first came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was waiting to try to log back on and hear. Yeah. So
you've got mail.
Yeah, you've got mail.
I will say so. Every week we start out trying to do this with the show, like we told you guys in the green room. We try to do a lot of backstory and leading up to it. Almost every guest we have, they'll usually be like, yeah, I grew up here, and here's my cigars, and they go into stories about their cigars. It is awesome that you guys are actually giving us backstory. Like, that's what we really want, is to give you guys there, to give our fans and give everybody a chance to know a little bit more about you that they may not have known before. So thank you for that.
Yeah, man, for
Absolutely.
sure. Anybody who anybody can probably go onto any number of podcasts that Dre and I have done and hear us talk about our cigars, which I'm sure we still want to talk about. But yeah, I always appreciate being able to kind of talk a little bit about our backstory, man.
Heck yeah.
So let's go into the lovely world of when you first started cigars. I know just from watching previous podcasts before that Andre started with some high class quality tobacco.
Absolutely.
I'll let him go ahead and talk about those cigars.
Yeah, started as a little list of guys stated. I told you I'm old, man. I remember when Middleton Black and Milds were $1.50 a pack for a 5-pack, right?
So do I.
So that's where I started my life because I was a enlisted guy and didn't have any money. But as I transitioned to be a warrant officer, I stayed in 2007, on a deployment in 2008. My girlfriend, who's my wife, she was like, dude, if you're going to smoke stuff, you should smoke good cigars. And I was like,
You
what
got
are
a
you
good
talking
woman.
about? Absolutely. Hey, look, 16 years, marriage going strong, brother, 18 years of knowing her. So, but she got me Cigar of the Month Club, for the remainder of the time we were in Iraq, because I actually made CW2 while I was down in Iraq in 2009. And after that, I fell in love with cigars. It was like, oh, man, this is what I want to do. When I get out, I got to do something with cigars. And I actually did the whole 20 years. I retired in 2017. My transition out of the military was pretty easy for me because of my career path and what I did in the military. And I'm actually a senior IT manager for a big company. I don't want to go into details right now because that'll start a whole nother conversation. But, I started working there and I was supporting the customer. And actually, that's where I met Zack. And one day we were just, shooting the shit in the office and talking about cigars and such. And I had no idea that Zack had a love and passion for cigars like I did. And Zack kind of came to me. He was like, hey, Dre, I heard you want to start a cigar lounge. And I was like, yeah, I really do, man. I'm really interested in doing this. He's like, I'm working on my business plan, man. I'm trying to get things together. Let's do this, right? And I was like, hold my beer. And I logged into a computer and I showed him my business plan. And, man, we just hit it off from there, brother.
That's amazing. So I guess my question would be, like, what was your gateway cigar? Like, did you have a cigar that you're like, holy shit, I love this cigar. This is what I want to do. Or did you or was it just that you always loved cigars and that, what the community it brought or whatever? Like, what was it for you?
Well, I think it kind of goes back to what you said. Cigar of the Month Club subscriptions are very important for a lot of people who don't know. It gives you an opportunity to sample things and taste and see what you like. I actually remember in Iraq, I started out with Gurkha Beast and Gurkha Beauties, and also CAOs of some of the cigars I got. And then as I cultivated my palate and started to learn what I liked and what I didn't like, I think I fell in love with Olivas. That was one of my biggest brands I love. And some others as well. And then I have friends stationed in various locations who could actually get authentic Cubans. So on the Cuban side of the house, I was a big Cohiba Siglo 6 fan.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, we all have that one that we're like, man, this is awesome. Like, what have I been doing with my life, man? I need more of this,
Absolutely.
So that's
All right, Zack. So let's go into yours. Where did cigars happen for you? What was you smoking?
Yeah, so I grew up. My dad smoked cigars, and a couple of my uncles smoked cigars on occasion. And I remember as a kid just being totally obsessed with the smell of cigars. And I remember as a kid being like, man, I can't wait to smoke cigars. Which, if there's any kids listening, it's probably not the appropriate answer to say. But yeah, I mean, as a kid, I couldn't wait to start smoking cigars. So after I joined the military, I met a guy when I was in the military that was into cigars. So I say he was into cigars, and we, like kind of like Dre, we started the CAO flavor bombs. That's kind of like where it all started. That lasted for maybe a year, and then the big cigar for me that really kind of moved me into your higher end traditional cigars was the Oliva Serie V. I remember having that for the first time, and that was like one I was like, damn, this is a really good cigar. And then I smoked all through the time that I was enlisted, and then once I was deploying, I would always bring cigars out with me, or I try and get over to the PX, or when I was with the Brits, the NAFI, and try and find cigars on occasion. I'd end up having my wife send me out some cigars, and so I started exploring And then I started falling in love with the boutique cigar scene, and basically just trying to dabble and find those diamonds in the rough, try and find those brands that people hadn't really heard of. I'm not a big beer drinker, but I kind of equate it to like craft beer. Find that stuff that's not as readily available as in your face. Find the jewels out there. I mean, I started realizing pretty early on that, when you're not a big brand and you're a smaller brand, you can do some really cool stuff with tobacco. And so I was really drawn to a lot of boutique cigars. So I would say I've been smoking, boutique for probably the better part of 10 years or so, really exploring the boutique scene. And yeah, fell in love with, I fell in love with Roma Craft when they were a lot smaller, Black Label when they were a lot smaller. Those types of brands really started getting me. I started finding my niche, really, really where the type of cigars that I liked, where I liked to spend my money. And then at no point when I was smoking boutiques did I ever think I was gonna ever end up owning my own brand, starting my own brand. And yeah, I mean, I would say the rest is history, man. Excited to be part of that boutique scene, and excited to like share my cigars now with somebody that is, maybe in the journey that I was in 10 or 15 years ago. I mean, I would say that I think I speak for Dre when I say that that's probably the most exciting thing about what it is that we're doing. The sending invoices and mailing out orders doesn't get me out of bed, but it's the talking to people who really enjoy cigars, who really gravitate towards our brand, who appreciate what it is that Andre and I put out. I mean, that's the stuff that's really exciting. Sitting down in a lounge or on a herf and just smoking with guys and shooting the shit. I mean, that's been the door that owning HDA has really opened for us, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, man, that's what we say every week, man. Like we never started out on this journey, me and Charles, to do anything, no, we're just out here to build a community, and really enjoy what we love, and hopefully get brands out to people that don't know who you are, or maybe open a new door for them. But it's amazing how much when we have guests on like you guys, we've never met in person to this point, hopefully soon. But we like Roma Craft for me was also one of those brands that I was like, holy shit, this is like a whole nother level. You know what I mean? And it opened up that whole door, and it was actually close to you guys' neck of the woods. I was actually up at a Hogshead Lounge in Fredericksburg with my brother-in-law.
Dude.
And
Hogshead, man. It's a great lounge, bro.
Yeah, and my brother-in-law lives there in Fredericksburg, and we went to Hogshead, and he's like, man, have you tried these yet? Like, I'm like, the fuck is that? Like I had no idea. Yeah. I pretty much was, I wouldn't say I was into boutique at that point, but it was more of, I was kind of skating that line, of stuff that wasn't as readily available. But as soon as I had that, I'm like, man, this is like a whole nother level from everything I've been smoking for like the last 5 years of my life. And it's just amazing. And it's how that door gets opened. And, guys like you are just kicking that door down, man. So I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, man. Hey, Hogshead, shameless plug, I guess, dude. Hogshead, they're pretty awesome selection of cigars that they got out there, man.
Absolutely.
Bob
I spent
does
way
a great
too much
job.
money. Way too much money
man.
there that day.
Yeah, that's a solid lounge. They got an incredible selection of cigars.
Oh, yeah.
So just listening to some of the other interviews that you guys do, that one thing I absolutely love that you guys do is you don't necessarily want to smoke all of your product. You're still a fan of cigars. You're always smoking other brands. So when it comes to other brands, you two probably are alike in a lot of ways and probably different in a lot of ways. What if you had to go into your humidor, or where you're at, Zach, at Scenic City, which let's go ahead and promote Scenic City, and know we love Cigar Vault Oakdale, but Scenic City is my home away from home. That is that lounge is 2.5 hours from my house, but I consider that my home lounge. If you were to walk into that lounge right over there, what would be the top 3 cigars that you're going to love and enjoy? But what would be your top 3 cigars? And Andre, same thing for you. When you go into a lounge, if you want to grab 3 cigars that you absolutely love, what are going to be those cigars that you guys grab?
I can tell you what I just bought here at Scenic City, which is I ended up buying some Stolen Thrones. Big fan of, you mentioned Lee earlier in the podcast. Yeah, big fan of Stolen Thrones. So that's always, if I ever see it, I always try and snag a cigar or two. Absolutely love Black Label, man. I love what James does with Black Label and Black Works. And then for my third one, I'm going to use a little bit of a cop out because I always like to walk into lounges. If it's a lounge that I've never been to, one of the first questions I ask is like, what do you guys have here that I might not necessarily be able to get anywhere else? And that's what I started doing when I would smoke boutiques is, what can I get here that I'm not going to be able to get anywhere else? And that's what really started opening my eyes to a lot of these great brands out there. And so I always try and do that when I go into a new lounge. So I actually picked up a cigar. I haven't smoked it yet, so I don't know anything about it. Um, it's called the Give a Fuck, which I mean, just the name itself, dude, it's pretty
I think I
solid.
need that.
Yeah. So I picked up one of these. So excited to try it. But I'm always just trying new stuff, man. When it comes out, if it's from a great factory, if it's got a great story, I like to. I'm a big proponent of not seeing other boutique brands as competition. I kind of view them instead as uh, as a friend, and I always want to do what I can to promote other brands that make really really good cigars.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I
How
think
about
for
you?
me, I think that's a hard question only because DC is so big in the legacy brands. Once you kind of get into the industry, you learn a lot about the industry and who has kind of a stronghold on certain areas and stuff. It's just the truth. But if I step into a lounge, as Zach stated, Zach introduced me to boutique brands, and that's part of the reason why I'm a big fan of Black Label as well. But I would say if I had to walk into, I'm looking for Olivas. I'm probably take a step back. I don't know. I'm kind of with Zach, looking for more boutique brands, things that are not more common, more known. That's kind of where we are, and that's part of why we're a boutique brand as well. So we love to support other brands, and I wholeheartedly agree with Zach stated. We don't look at it as competition. We're supporting each other, especially veterans.
But let's be honest. When you own a cigar brand, 90% of what you smoke is your own stuff, man, because you kind of get the best deal that you can get when it comes to cigars. And if you're making your own cigar, I mean, you kind of tend to like it. So
I mean,
it's kind of hard not to smoke
I
your
mean,
own
we
stuff
always
too.
tell everybody, when we got our first inventory in, we were looking at the humidor like either we're going to sell cigars or we got a life supply of cigars to smoke. So what are we going to do?
That's awesome. Yeah. You have to obviously believe in what you're doing and you have to enjoy what you guys are putting out. Or, I mean, I'm sure there's brands out there that don't love everything they put out, but I mean, it being a small boutique brand, and I mean, you guys have to believe in what you're doing and what you're putting out, and you have to enjoy what you're putting out. So it makes complete sense, man. And trust me, what you guys are putting out, I would not mind smoking every day myself. So 100%.
I appreciate it. And I'll say too, one of the things that I really like doing is, in addition to just asking, "Hey, what do you guys have here that I can't necessarily get?" I really like to lean on the knowledgeable staff of a cigar lounge, right? Like we mentioned, we're here at Scenic. Norm and Miguel over at the Cigar Vault. I know they're your sponsor. This is not like a plug by any stretch. Those dudes are freaking awesome, man. Like what they've done in that lounge and what they've curated in their humidor is like top notch. And so, like, leaning on the guys who run the shop, who have invested their time, money, effort, blood, sweat, and tears into their shop and curating these beautiful humidors with brands that oftentimes you don't hear of. Leaning on those guys and walking into a shop or going online and just taking recommendations from those guys. I mean, you can't go wrong, man. I mean, Norman Miguel over at the Cigar Vault, I'll actually be up there here in a couple weeks, just to go shoot the shit because it's such a great lounge, great people. I mean, they're just freaking awesome dudes, man. I mean, you can't go wrong. And that's part of the reason that Andre and I have made the decision to work exclusively with lounges and instead of selling direct to consumers. We don't want to cut those people out of the process. We really, really like what lounges and whether it's online retailers like a Toro Cigar Company or whether it's a in-person lounge like a Cigar Vault or a Scenic City or Hogshead, which we mentioned earlier. I mean, I know that it's really important to Andre and I to support those guys because they really are an important piece of the puzzle.
So I will, shameless plug as well. And not just because they're our sponsor, but yes, because they're our sponsor. When you go on to Cigar Vault Oakdale and you go to their website and you look at the list of boutique cigars that they have one of the best presence for boutique cigars out there. And you can pick up everything that these guys are going to be talking about here in a little bit from Cigar Vault. And again, use code RealSmoke, save something. So let's go into how things happened. How did you guys meet? Was it something you just, exchanged words back and forth, or was it like you guys ended up, becoming friends at work, or how did this grand meeting happen?
Go ahead, Zach. Come on.
Dude, I mean, honestly, I wish there was like some real big, cool story, but ultimately, I mean, Andre and I, we started right around the same time at our job, and we just happened to sit next to each other. We hit it off right away, and then we both realized that we liked cigars, and it just turned into us talking about cigars all the time, man. And like Dre said, we had originally started thinking that we were going to open up a lounge. COVID hit and kind of derailed things for us, and our plan when we were going to start a lounge was to have just awesome house blends. We wanted to create our own house blends, and that kind of be like our flagship. And so when COVID hit and we didn't think it was right for us to open up a lounge, we were like, hey, you know what? Fuck it, man. Let's go about it in reverse, and let's create a brand, and then maybe we'll reassess the cigar lounge at some point in the future. So yeah, I mean, we ultimately decided to start a brand. I think we LLC'd everything back in 2022. And then took the better part of 2 years coming up with, all the paperwork, coming up with all the licensing and then identifying a factory, coming up with our blends, and then eventually placing an order. And then, April of 2024. So, 14 months ago, we got our first shipment and, had that kind of, oh shit moment, because now we're staring a lot of cigars in the face, and now it's time to hope that people enjoy the blends as much as we do.
That's phenomenal. Yeah. So I guess give us a story of how you got hooked up with the factory you're currently with, because I mean that's a pretty well-known factory. How did that happen? Because I know it's probably not the easiest factory to get into. How did that happen?
Well, let's also add in, how did you guys end up, let's go through the process of saying, hey, we're going to do a cigar lounge, and then, okay, let's do a cigar brand, because, not only do you have to go find this factory, one, how did you find that factory, but how did you come up with the name of the company? Walk us through that process of going, all right, it's not going to be, Zack and Andre's smoke shop. It's going to be HDA. How'd that happen?
Yeah, so I think I'll kind of take a step back on that. Zack and I were putting our heads together when we were talking about the cigar lounge, and then we were just like, well, how do we break into the industry? What do we do? And we were like, as Zack said, forget it. Let's just start our own brand. And we're like, how do we go about that? I mean, I still have my whiteboard in my office in front of me. You guys can't see it from, start to finish, of how we just started throwing ideas around and what we wanted to see and what we wanted to do. And then as we started to move forward in the process, the question was posed, from Zack, like, okay, what factory do we partner with? And it was like, oh shit, like, I have no idea. And he was like, hey, Dre, have you ever smoked Black Label or Black Works? And I was like, no, what is that? And he was like, well, it's a boutique brand. He's like, I don't want to give you a lot of information. I want you to smoke this. And Zack actually handed me the Last Right cigar, and I fell in love. I was like, dude, who the hell is this? This is awesome. The artwork is sick. I love it, right? Like, I'm down. And Zack was like, how about we call him? I'm like, are you serious? He was like, yeah, let's do it. So I literally picked up the phone, called the distribution center, spoke with Stephanie down in Texas. And yeah, there you go. And I literally pitched our business plan to Stephanie We're two veterans. This is what we want to accomplish. We're big fans. We want to get in the industry. And I must have said something right, over that phone conversation. Stephanie basically said, hey, give me a little bit of time. I'll reach out to James and Angela to see if there's something they're interested in. And Zach and I went back and forth with emails, phone calls with Stephanie. And finally, we actually got a WebEx opportunity with Angela and James. And again, huge fans. We pitched our plan to them again. And we finally got the invite to come to Nicaragua in May of 2023.
That's amazing. Yeah, I always try to pair up my cigars for the night because I know one never lasts me quite long enough for a show. So I had to grab a Black Label for my second cigar of the night after you guys' blend. But what a great factory, man. That's a great story. Yeah, they we've heard the stories before because we've had Sin on here, and we may eventually have James on here and Angela, but no, they everything that comes out of that factory is pretty awesome, man. But how did you guys start coming up with the blends? Like, how did you guys start? Did you tell them what you wanted up front, or did you have an idea in mind of what you wanted to be somewhat like, or how was it?
Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had a general idea of profile, and we had a good idea of like kind of flavor notes that we were looking for. But we went down to Nicaragua, like Dre said, in May of 2023. And we spent the better part of a week just smoking puritos, coming up with just general ideas of like, well, I want to try and pair this with this, and kind of bouncing ideas off of each other. We'd go back to the hotel at night, and we're taking like meticulous notes, and we'd compare notes, and we'd send some ideas out to James and Angela, and then they'd roll those for us, those samples for us, and we'd kind of scratch some of them, and we really just like were given the opportunity to play with the tobacco that they're able to source at Oveja Negra. Part of the reason that we partnered with them isn't just because of like the amazing blending ability that James has and the product that they produce. It's not necessarily his blends that attracted us to the factory. One of the reasons that I've always liked Black Label is, yes, I absolutely love his blends, but I also love the consistency, the quality of cigars that come out of that factory, right? So we knew whatever we ended up wanting to do, we wanted it to be our blends. The thing that you cannot control when you're in the United States is what is the factory going to actually send you, right? Like, I wanted to make sure that the cigar quality was like top notch, great tobacco, grade A tobacco. I wanted to make sure that we had cigars that were not a tough draw, that were, that burned well. We really wanted to ensure that the product that we received was a product that was going to represent what it was that Dre and I wanted to produce and put our name to. And Oveja has been absolutely amazing in that. So yeah, I mean, it was just it was a week of coming up with, I think we ended up coming up with like 8 to 10 blends. We came back to the States. We ended up getting samples of all those blends. And then it was the better part of 6 months smoking through each of those blends, taking notes, constantly comparing notes, giving out a couple samples to friends of ours, getting their opinions, and then whittling it down to what we wanted to be our core line, right? So there's a lot of things that we took into consideration. Tobacco availability. We came out just recently with our very first short run, and it's utilizing a tobacco that we can't necessarily guarantee that we're going to be able to source all the time. And so we wanted to make sure our core line was tobacco that was readily available, that we were easily going to be able to source. We'd always be able to keep in stock for our retailers. So we ended up narrowing it down to the 3 blends that we have now, which is the Cataclysm, the Veiled Mutiny, and the Descending Shadows. And then we decided, hey man, like rather than spreading ourselves thin and coming out with 6, 9, 12 different SKUs, we were just going to do everything in one Vitola, 6x54, and 3 blends, 1 size, 3 facings, 3 SKUs. Keep it simple, stupid. That's ultimately what it came down to, right? And the rest is history, man.
I absolutely love that. I love that you just went with we got 3 products and we're gonna let it rip. Let's talk about, you get off the airplane, you land, the first meeting with James and his wife, tell us how that went. I mean, because if it, as somebody who was, a fan of their cigars anyways, and you got this opportunity to, have the person who is making the cigars that you're a fan of. How was that first interaction? How was that first experience?
I think for me, I'll start off first, man. It was a crash course in tobacco, man. I mean, it was as soon as we got to the factory, it was smoke this, taste this, and then while we're doing that, we're actually touring the factory, looking at tobacco. James is giving us a crash course in binders, fillers, wrappers. I mean, it was just on from day one, man. And I still have memories in my head of this ashtray that James has, in that space, man. I mean, this thing had to be like a 22-inch rim, man. I mean, this ashtray was massive, right? And we're all just sitting around just sampling. I mean, it literally a week of sampling and tasting. I mean, it was unbelievable. But I think it was more so of them validating us to ensure that we were really in tobacco like we say we were. And we weren't in it just for, to make a quick buck or anything like that, which is definitely not the case for me and Zach.
Do you guys want to look at me sideways? Sorry about that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that was awesome.
I was hoping it would turn. It didn't. I didn't mean it to distract you from Dre's.
I was just trying to figure out if it was my computer. I was like, okay, here we go again.
No,
it was definitely Zach this time. It was all Zach.
Yeah, it was all me. I'm trying to charge my phone because I just want to make sure I don't run out of battery. So sorry about that. I had to turn it into landscape mode for a second. But I could talk to you guys like this for the rest of the show if you want.
Please don't.
I'm easily distracted, man. It's not good.
Squirrel.
Yeah. No, man. I mean, exactly like Dre said, man. They're very just real people, man. I mean, we just had a great time getting to know James and Angela, and their knowledge is incredible. And we one of the things that we've always said is that you're going to meet so many people out in the industry that know more than Dre and I do about tobacco. We're never gonna act like we know everything. We're not gonna act like our shit don't stink. But what we do know is we really like cigars, and I think we can. We wanted to create cigars that we really liked, and we wanted to create cigars that we stand behind. And maybe we didn't do it. We don't come from this where our fathers had a factory, or I've been in the business for 30 years. Nothing along those lines, man. We really approach this as consumers. We smoke cigars. We love cigars, and then we decided to turn our passion into a brand. And I so far the reception's been great, and we've been having a hell of a time. Really been enjoying ourselves.
And that kind of leads into the name of what you kind of mentioned as well. Been on those deployments, right? It didn't matter what rank you were, what position you held. That camaraderie in the cigars always brought us back. We go out on a deployment, you get shot at, you get blown up. You come back, right? And everybody sit around a fire and we smoke cigars. So I think I missed that camaraderie after 20 years of serving. I mean, like I said, I started at 17, and I missed it. So I had a moment and a period in my life when I transitioned where I was missing all those things because the civilian world was so different. But, Zach helped kind of foster that, bring it back, man. Let's smoke cigars. Let's get into this, right? And that kind of goes into the name, Hermanos de Armas, brothers in arms, right? So that's kind of, for me, where the namesake kind of came into play for our brand.
We also wanted there to be a nod. Oh yeah. Sorry,
you're stealing my next question, man. But you guys are killing it, man. Just you guys got it, bro. I was going to ask you where the name came from, and also
that was my next question as well.
Yeah, we're you guys got it, man. We're just going to sit back and smoke cigars. You got it.
No, we wanted like the reality of the situation is that we're talking about a product that for ours it's all the hands that touch these cigars are in Nicaragua. Well, obviously, some other outside of Nicaragua, but it's a Nicaraguan, it's a Latin product, it's a Spanish product, and so we wanted it to kind of be a nod as well to the roots of what the cigar industry is, which is a Hispanic product. My wife is actually Nicaraguan, hates cigars, so there's no her family was into cigars, absolutely zero association with cigars. But she's Nicaraguan. We've been married for 18 years, and so that was something that was really important to Dre and I was honoring not only our roots but the roots of the product that we're putting into the hands of consumers. So we wanted it to have a little Spanish nod in there. So de hermanos de armas is brothers in arms in Spanish. It's a lot easier just to call it HDA. We find that when you talk to a lot of the gringos like myself, HDA is a lot easier. So HDA cigars, man. And we also wanted to, kind of have a little bit of a nod to Dre and I's time in the military. We're very proud of the fact that we're a veteran-owned company, but we also didn't want it to be our only defining characteristic when we brought these cigars out. We like to say that people might try us for the first time because we're a veteran-owned brand, but we want them to continue to smoke us because of the fact that they're fucking good cigars too.
Hey, Zach, I gotta say it, man. I mean, you mentioned being a gringo, bro. I mean, your ancestry.com report, bro. I mean, whew.
Gringo as hell. White. It just came up and said white as fuck. That's all it said when I did the ancestry.com. I was actually looking at it the other day, man. I don't like my ancestry doesn't even leave Western Europe. That's not an exaggeration, man. Like the furthest east I go is like Finland. That's it, dude. I'm white as hell.
Yeah, that would be mine. Mine is my mom's side is English and German. My dad is German and Irish. Yeah. So that's why I am all red and pale. I get sunburnt by the moon. So,
there you go, man. Hey, dude, it's a struggle, dude. I'm right there with you, brother.
I got a lot of Scottish, man. So I guess that means I'd look good in a kilt. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll try it out one day. I
think you need to try it out.
Yeah.
So for the West Tennessee Herf, it is required now that Mick wears a kilt. Just saying.
You do not want to see these legs, man. You do not want to see these legs. It's all good. Yeah.
So I'm gonna backflip just a second because you said something that just kind of made me think. Both of you, what you both really got into cigars and really started enjoying the camaraderie of everything while you were deployed. What was one of those experiences where you're sitting back while deployed and you're just sitting back having a cigar with your guys? What was one of those, experiences that still sits with you? Like, dude, it was a long day and we're all sitting back here and we're just like, fuck, we need a cigar. What was one of those experiences?
Can I start that one off, Trey? I got a cool story. Yeah. So in 2016, 2017, I was working a job at Bagram where we were air crew, so we were actually on the flight line, and my job every night was to go fly and then support some different operations and then come back. And I remember one night I was sitting out by the fire pit just off of the flight line with like 4 or 5 guys, and we're smoking cigars, just shooting the shit. And it was I'll never forget just sitting by the fire. And you get the alarm for incoming indirect fire, rockets being fired in. And Drake kind of alluded to it in Iraq. I'm sure it was a very different experience in Afghanistan, man. In that like 2016, 17 time frame, everybody was so just like jaded to like rockets coming in. So those alarms would go off, and it got to the point to where we didn't even move, man. It was kind of like one of those like, if it's my time, it's my time. And so we didn't even really move. And I'll never forget smoking a cigar, the alarms are going off, and instantly everybody starts looking up at the sky, and you just see the C-RAM, which is like it's this big gun that fires bullets trying to basically take out the rocket before it impacts. So that way, by the time it impacts, it's just shrapnel. And you just see that gun going off and the crisscross of the rounds, tracer rounds going through the air, trying to hit this rocket before it goes off. And it hit the rocket right above our heads while we were sitting there smoking cigars, and all the shrapnel just filters out onto the flight line. And we're just sitting there like, yeah, man, this is, I remember thinking like, I'm going to look back at this and this is going to be like one of those like, holy shit moments. And all while smoking a cigar. So that was something that definitely stuck with me.
That's probably one of the most epic cigar stories I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't have anything but wow, man. That's incredible.
All right, so Zach may have stole the show on that one. So Andre,
Oh, yeah.
what's yours?
Yeah, he got me on that one, brother. But I think the same thing. It was just more so every day after a long day, guys getting in firefights, and then I think one defining moment. You're talking to guys before they go out on the convoy, and then they go out and get hit, right? So all you want to do is go out there and kick somebody's ass, right? So I think those moments, happen frequently, for that year, that 12, 13, 14, 15 months you deployed, right? So I think that's it for me.
So was the cigars that you're smoking when you were deployed, was it this is kind of resemblance of home, or was it a celebration cigar, or was it just to take your mind off of all the shit that you're going through?
I think it's a combination of all the above. Kind of take your mind off of things, celebratory with your comrades, and then like you said, definitely missing home, but that camaraderie, man, I can't get it out of my head. I have this coin, and I tell people I got to show it sometime on a podcast, but I got it from one of my buddies, but it was like the Baghdad Cigar Club, and it was actually a poker chip. I don't know who founded it. Shout out to my brothers out there, whoever founded it, but I still have this poker chip, and it's just reminiscent of what we dealt with and what we went through. But all in all, man, I'd do it all over again.
Yeah, we need to see it, man. You got it handy. We need to see it. This needs.
Yeah,
to be
man. Let me see if I can text my son while you continue, and I'll bring it up for you guys.
So one thing I will say is, talking about what he just said, that's something that cigars brings to all of us. You guys are deployed overseas, and you're smoking it as a celebratory cigar, or a camaraderie cigar, or a cigar that you're smoking just to say, life is freaking crazy right now. But at the same time, that's the reason we all smoke cigars, because there are days that we go outside and we have a cigar just alone, that we've had a long day, and it's our chance to sit and just connect with ourselves. Or it's a day that, my daughter just got her master's degree. I'm going to go smoke the big freaking cigar. Or it's a cigar that, my mom just passed away, and this cigar means a lot to me, so I'm going to go smoke this cigar. So it's one of those things that, all of us, it doesn't matter if you're, active service, military, first responder, a lawyer, a doctor, a janitor, we all share these same cigars for the same reason. And that this is an industry that is unlike any other, that we can all come together and share the same cigar for the same reasons.
Yeah, man. Dude, well stated, yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm just going to tag on to that just a little bit. I mean, Charles and I we've been sitting in the green room, and we both had the worst fucking week that we've ever had in our life. And we get on here, and it kind of takes it away. At least it takes the pain away a little bit, the sting away a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's something that we've said many times. It's a great fucking equalizer. It's why we love this industry. It's why we love having guys like you on. I mean, it's something that we can all share in, that kind of puts us on that same level and takes us down a step. You know what I mean? And it's definitely why we love this industry and why we do what we do, man. And I'm sure it's the same for you guys.
100%, man. 100%.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah, well stated.
I mean, Zach said it. We love going to lounges, man. I mean, the stories that are told in lounges, man, you can't put a price on it, brother. I mean, that's why we don't sell online. We love interacting with people, and it's great to know, we step in there and they're like, so who you rep for? And we're like, no, man, we're the owners. And they're like, what? Like, yeah, me and Zach are on the road. I mean, my brother's on the road right now, as he stated. So that's what we do, man.
So let's go into the cigars. So one thing I will say is you have one of the best, understated, cleanest designed bands I've seen. It's not overly flashy, but it's not dull. It's everything that you want in a classy band. But it's not the band that got me. It's the freaking names of the cigars. You've got some of the coolest names of the cigars that's out there. So one, let's talk about the band. I'll let you whoever talks about the band. But let's go into the process of why did you name the 3-core line what you did? What does those names mean to the actual blend, and what are the blend of the cigars? So I guess we now get into the cigars
Go
after
ahead,
an
Zach.
hour.
Yeah, man. So 3 different blends. We decided we didn't have names in mind until after we decided on the blends, right? So it was funny. We actually placed the order of the blends. We placed the order with Oveja, and one of the questions that we got, obviously, right off the bat was, okay, cool. What's the name of the cigar? And we're like, give us a little bit. So we wanted to come up with the names because we wanted it to be kind of representative of the cigars themselves. The names are Cataclysm, Descending Shadows, and Veiled Mutiny. So the Cataclysm is our Ecuadorian Habano. All of our cigars are 100% Nicaraguan filler. The Cataclysm was one that when we smoked it, it was the most obvious. This has got to be part of our core line. We just really felt like this is a representation of what it is that we wanted HDA to be, and we really felt like it was this like big, powerful statement. It was this big, powerful cigar. Maybe not necessarily just in the sense of it's doesn't mean it's like a super full body cigar, but it just felt like a very powerful cigar. So we came up with the name Cataclysm, a big historic cataclysmic event. Veiled Mutiny is our Ecuadorian Maduro. And that cigar was actually the very first cigar that Andre and I smoked out of our samples after we got back home. We just simply smoked it first because it was number one, and we smoked it. And when we smoked that cigar, we were blown away by how it starts off kind of unassuming, and it slowly builds, not only in terms of in flavor but also in strength. We kind of felt like it was like a wolf in sheep's clothing, and so we decided to call it Veiled Mutiny. Kind of, it was very unassuming, almost like a sabotage, if you will, right? So we came up with the name Veiled Mutiny. And then our last cigar is our Ecuadorian Sun-Grown wrapper, which is the Descending Shadows. And that one was a build. That one was like, you start off, it's got pepper, and that flavor really starts building into more than just a pepper bomb. But really, I think John Aldi, who I think is listening, he described it really well recently. He said it just kind of smoked like a campfire, s'mores like in your mouth, and it was just this constant build. And so we like the visual of that looming shadow that slowly builds. So it was almost like a cigar coming out of the shadow. So we came up with the name Descending Shadow. So every single one of the cigars that we have that makes up our core line, we wanted the names to be representative of the actual blend rather than simply coming up with names and then finding maybe cigars that either fit that name or coming up with just arbitrary names, completely disassociated from the blends themselves.
So when you guys were coming up with some of the names for it, is there any other names that you guys were thinking about that you were like, hey, this could be a cool name or whatever? Or what were some of the ones that were like thrown to the background that may be saved for something later?
I don't know. I think we had a couple, but I know one in particular I remember vividly was like the Renegade. I think we talked about that.
That's cool.
Yeah, and there was, but again, as we stated, once you jump out to the industry, you start seeing various things, copyright, trademarks, all those various things, right? So that's one thing you got to make sure you do your research on before you kind of jump into that. So.
Yeah, and I mentioned it earlier, sabotage, right? That was one that we had kind of looked at as well. Same thing. We kind of threw that name around. We weren't 100% set on it, and then trademark issues, and
I think of Beastie Boys every time I hear that.
Damn it!
Right?
You just stole my line, man. Damn it!
Nice. Yeah.
All right, so you have a new one that's coming out that is hitting everywhere right now because I'm seeing it blow up. So what is this new one that you have me and Mick wishing that we had a way to get our hands on it?
So that is actually what I was just smoking here. I have another one. So all of our bands are the exact same design. We just change the colors. We tried to make it again. Andre and I operate very much so on the keep it simple, stupid methodology. So we wanted to, all of our bands are exactly the same. So our core line is the black band, a gray band, and a white band. So yeah, this is our very first short run. This is called Phantom Fury. It's, as you can see, it's a green band. This is a Sumatra wrapper with 100% Nicaraguan filler. And yeah,
I love Sumatra.
yeah, man, it's freaking killer. I having just smoked one, it's taking everything in me not to light up another one right here. But it's a really really unique cigar. It's different than our core line. We wanted, I mean, it is a short run, short run, limited edition, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it was something that we wanted to do a little bit different. But it is we only made we only had 150 boxes. We also had a couple bundles for some of our other retailers that are incorporating it into their Cigar of the Month Club. So only a total of 6,000 cigars we made. And they have all been sent to retailers. And they are all out in the wilds. And I talked to a couple of the retailers today. A lot of places are already sold out. So I'll say that if you do want to get your hands on it, there's going to be a couple other places that have the cigars but have not released them yet. The Cigar Vault is one of the places that does have Phantom Fury. I don't know if it's changed since earlier today, but I think they were on their last box, last I heard. So it might already be gone. But
Mick,
check
go ahead and
out
get
the
that one
Cigar
ordered.
Vault.
Go ahead and get
Yeah,
that one ordered. Use the account. Go ahead and get that one ordered.
Yeah, so I'm gonna jump ahead in the show a little bit here. So I'm gonna tell you guys, if you guys ever want to release a cigar or talk about it before it comes out, you guys have an open line right now. And anything you want to, and that's not our ploy for us. We'll buy every cigar that we smoke on this show. Like that's what we do. We want to support all of you guys that are out there pushing and humping, to make this work. But I'm just saying, if you guys ever want to, just be like, hey, we're going to be releasing these in 2 weeks. We'd like to get on the show and talk about it. Let us know. We'll make something work. We'll get you on. We anything you guys want us to promote, like tag us in it, man. Like we'll definitely promote it for you. And that's why we're doing this, is to promote guys like yourself.
Josephus says, any Cameroon or Candela cigars in the future?
Zach don't like to give out secrets, so I'll leave that to Zach.
This is what I'll say, is that I personally, so every cigar that Andre and I make is a cigar that we 100% stand behind, and is one that we will smoke ourselves, right? We don't want to produce any cigars that maybe are what you would call a mass appeal cigar. We don't want to feel like we're making cigars for somebody else. We want to feel like we're making cigars to our palate for the fans of HDA. So there's been a lot of people have kind of thrown out some ideas. I will say that I am personally not a huge Candela fan. So it would have to be a very, very unique blend in order for us to incorporate a Candela. Not saying it's not going to happen in the future, but I would say Candela is probably going to be a few other wrappers that are utilized before we utilize a Candela. We have a couple others that Andre and I have been smoking samples of. A couple other ideas that we're throwing around. We have a couple things right now. We're just really really stoked about Phantom Fury. I mean, we literally I think the very first retailer received it on Monday of this week. I mean, it's so fresh, hot off the presses. I know Oakdale Tobacconist is going to be releasing it in their subscription here very soon. Toro Cigar Company, a little heads up, Toro Cigar Company is going to be releasing theirs here very soon as well. So stay tuned. You'll probably see us here next week on their podcast, where they're going to be probably releasing it. So if you're having a hard time finding it, that might be the place for you to find it. And then BL Luxuries is going to be releasing it in the Cigar of the Month Club, and so is cigarclub.com. So there's subscribe to some of those subscription services. You'll be able to snag a fan of Fury as well. But hit up your local retailer. We have on our website. We have a retailer finder where you can find all the HDA cigars. I will say, when we created the cigar, we created it as a thank you to all the retailers who brought us on in our infancy, right? So we didn't create this to have a lot of like back inventory and a lot of back stock that we didn't use it as a selling point for people to purchase HDA and bring HDA into their stores. We used it as a thank you so much for everything that you've done to support us, as we were nobodies 14 months ago, and now we're starting to kind of gain a little bit of traction. So we have some of our retailers. We literally went and ordered our very first account that opened us. We offered them up to 10 boxes, and then we went right down the line, right? And Cigar Vault is a great example. Cigar Vault purchased and carried HDA before they even opened up their doors, right? So that was like, I mean, like,
Norm has been huge on you guys since day one, man. It's Norm and Miguel. They're both amazing. We had them on the show. We did a show with them. Miguel is one of the funniest sons of bitches I ever met in my life.
Dude,
but that's my dude, man.
Oh man, he is hilarious, man. But no. So how does it feel though to know that you guys have in 14 months have got that big of a following that you're selling out? I'm stealing Charles's question now. How does that feel though? To know that you guys are like, people are like, holy fuck, here's a new one, I gotta get it. I mean, that's got to be a great feeling for you guys, because it means you're doing the right things, you're doing it for the right reasons. Like, people are actually following along with us,
and you're being put on multiple podcasts, because I've seen all the different ones that you guys are getting invited to or jumping onto. So you just said just in a few months, what does that feel like?
I think part one for me, and I'll let Zack take it home. The story resonates, right? It's not made up, right? It's our life. It's what we live, right? And I didn't realize how important that was until we actually hit PCA. I mean, you would tell the story, but then a lot of people really, really resonated with that story. Where we come from, what we've accomplished, and then us jumping into the industry head first. I mean, literally head first, not having a single retailer. Just we want to do this, right? And we want to tell our story and why we love and have this passion for the cigar. So it means a lot to me. I think it means a lot to Zack, but I'll let him, take it home. So
yeah, man. I mean, it truly does feel good. There's been a lot of people that have supported us. It feels really good to be accepted by this community. We were nobodies. We are nobodies. We still are, right? And the fact that people really have enjoyed our cigars, it means a lot. And there's been a lot of people that have accepted us into their lounges. There have been people that have introduced our cigars into their own personal humidor, and our cigars have resonated with people. And it truly does mean the world to us. It's not something that's lost on us. And we get emails from people, we get Instagram messages, we get through retailers, we hear stories about people, how much they enjoy our cigars, and it really means a lot, because Andray and I, we didn't want to cut corners in this. We really tried to do everything the right way, and the reality is we could probably do things cheaper, we could probably do things easier, but we wanted to create a product that really meant a lot to us. And we are truly honored that people appreciate that. And it's a grind for Andray and I. We're constantly grinding, and we're constantly sharing our story and sharing our cigars with people. And it's an absolute honor that people have enjoyed them and have accepted us. It can't be understated how great the last 14 months have been.
So, Mick, I'm going to get your permission to do this before I do it. So, we usually do a lot of brands that are single owners or single reps or things like that. So, I have something I would like to do with the guys that is kind of fun to get to know these guys a little bit better before we go into hot box questions. You okay with this?
I'm
All right,
great.
so
I have no idea what
guys,
you're talking about.
help me out here. So this is one of these things to get to know your partner a little bit better. It's one of the things where I'm going to ask a question. And I want to find out who it is, whether it's Zach or whether it's Andre. So if you think it's you, raise your hand. If you think it's the other dude, point to the other dude. But when it comes to business, when it comes to your cigars, who's the first one stressed?
Zach.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
me. That's
All right. So when it comes to business or friendship, who's got the worst temper?
Ooh, I think we. I don't know, man. I think we're equally yoked a little bit. We had to figure that out early. So
Yeah. The good news is the temper is not directed at each other. I mean,
Correct.
Andre and I, look, we're ebony and ivory, man. We get along really, really well. We don't have tempers with each other. It's just general business frustrations.
Yeah.
So I'll say we'll each probably take half of that. But I also have a pretty bad temper, so it could be me.
So when it comes to the business, whether it's traveling or merch or whatever, who's the best one with the money?
With the money, that would
Yeah.
be Dre.
You're the money guy. All right.
yeah,
He's looking at you like, eh.
yeah.
I have the grandiose ideas, and Dre's the one that's like, Yeah, Dre's the one that kind of is like, let's.
All right. So that goes to my next question. Who's the idea guy?
Oh, Zach.
Yeah, that tends to be me.
Who's got the best palate?
Woo.
Ooh,
Look, that
shots fired.
Look, this guy, man, I told you, no lie. He'll smoke a cigar, he'll smoke a Veil Muni, another one with a Zen pack in. I'm like, how in the hell do you do this, bro? Like, I can't keep up with you, man. Like, but as far as profile goes, yeah, I mean, the tolerance is nuts. But I think as far as profile, man, that's why we merged. I mean, our profile was like in sync. We know what we like. And our profiles is very similar.
I'm gonna have to say 50-50 on that one too, man.
All right. Who's the best storyteller?
I like Dre stories. I'm gonna say Dre.
I guess. All right, I'll take that one. All right.
Who's the best salesman?
Zach, by far.
That would be me, I guess.
All right. Who's got the jokes?
No,
the good jokes or just the joke? Quantity or quality?
Yeah.
Quality.
It's Dre.
All right, I'll take it.
All right. Who's the most creative one?
That's good.
I'm going to take that one. I feel like I'm pretty creative.
Yeah, I'll give you that, man.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dre.
All right. My last one. Who's the tobacco nerd?
I think both of us, man. Oh, man.
Dude, you don't have a choice but to be a tobacco.
Yes.
To become a tobacco nerd if you own a cigar company. Like,
Yes.
again, we might not be the most knowledgeable, but it's like we're both very eager to learn, and we're becoming bigger and bigger tobacco nerds as we grow. You have to kind of learn to be a tobacco nerd, and I'm always, I mean, every time we go into a lounge, every time we talk to another brand owner, any interaction we have, I always feel like I'm learning. So I just am enjoying learning from people who have so much time in the industry. So I wouldn't necessarily say tobacco nerd, but we're definitely eager to learn about tobacco, and we're continuing to learn every day.
Absolutely.
That's
and then
awesome.
before you jump into the next one, so I told you I had to have my son to go grab
there
it
it
for me,
is.
right?
Hell
So
yeah.
I never told people this, but so here it is, right? So the Baghdad Cigar Aficionado Club, established in 2007, right? Now, I
That
wasn't
is
a founder.
freaking amazing.
I don't know who started it, but I was fortunate enough to grab one. And then on the reverse side, so
Oh,
Look
bro,
at
that is
But yeah.
awesome, man.
So-
That's like a piece of history for you. That's amazing. I'm glad we could share that for the first time. That's fucking amazing.
yeah, absolutely, brother.
All right, Zach. We have somebody in the audience who wants to know. Do you know who this is?
Look, man, this story is gonna haunt me for my entire.
So let's go for
the
it.
entire rest of
We
my
gotta
life.
hear
Dude.
it.
Yes, I know who that is. It's a really small screen, but that appears to be Ed Reed, if I had to guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
It is.
my guess is I can't see the comments. That's probably John Aldi who put that in the chat.
Of
That
course
was
it
a
was.
text.
Yeah.
That was a text to my phone from John.
Yes, it was. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, he is on thin ice. I'm gonna fire his ass if he brings up this thing one more time. Okay. I've told this story a couple other times, so bear with me if you've heard it. And I absolutely love retelling this story because it's definitely not one of the most embarrassing moments in my life. But so PCA in April. If you haven't been to PCA, it is like an overwhelming experience, especially for like first time attendance, and you're setting up for your brand. You're setting up a booth. You're like overwhelmed. You're constantly worried that your things are going to go wrong. So I'm like also the worry wart of the group, right? So I'm always stressing over the small details. So the very first day at PCA, it's like an 8-10 hour day. I'm smoked by the end of it, like absolutely smoked. I'm on fumes. We're walking all of our stuff out to the car, and the group of us are walking out to the truck. And one of the guys that we brought with us is a buddy of mine, and we work together at our day jobs. And he's a big cigar guy, and he ends up starting up a conversation with somebody that he knew, and basically starts having a very direct conversation with him. He clearly knew this guy. Starts telling him a little bit about HDA. Introduce myself. He says, "Hey, what's going on, man? I'm Ed." I'm not really thinking anything of it. Now, it should be noted, the part that I need to throw out there was, I definitely was like, I know this guy. Like, I've seen this guy before. I just couldn't really put two and two together. I was like, whether I was on fumes or, I'm going to claim ignorance on this one, in the sense that I'm just going to claim that I was not at my peak. I was not at my best. And I introduced myself. He introduces himself. We end up having a little bit of a conversation, and he eventually mentions that he works with Lee from Stolen Thrones. And I was like, "Oh, nice, man! You work with Lee. Good dude. How do you know Lee? Are you one of his reps for Stolen Thrones?" And he looks at me and he's like, "Nah, man. Nah." He was not like, "How dare you not know who I am?" He was a very like just normal guy. And he's like, "No, I actually own my own brand." And I was like, "Oh, nice." And the look that G gave me when he turns and like looks at me and is like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now, dude?" And I got this look and I was like, "Oh man, I should definitely know who this guy is." Anyway, he's super approachable guy, just like a normal dude. And he was like, "Hey man, thanks for your service. I'm excited to try your cigars." Yada yada yada. A couple minutes later, we end up walking away, and G looks at me and he's like, "Dude, are you fucking kidding me right now?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yo, that's Ed Reed." And Dre's sitting there like, "Dude, that's Ed Reed." And the most embarrassing part about this story is I am a big football fan. Like, I love the NFL. I know who Ed Reed was. He just, as a Broncos fan, he destroyed Broncos fans' dreams for years. He haunted us every time we played him. The dude's a GOAT. And I just did not recognize him at that moment. And it should be noted, neither did John Aldi. But John's also not as big of a football fan as I am. That one went over my head. So their running joke is that I'm like, "Oh, what are you? Are you the janitor?" I just asked him if he was a rep for Stone Thrones. No, man. Yeah. So that's definitely, and I'm telling you, man, it's going to be reflected in his end of the year performance review that we give to John if he keeps bringing this shit up at every single podcast that I do. I'm going to stop telling him about podcasts, and I'm not going to tell him that we're doing these social media appearances, so that way he stops haunting the comment section with.
So if we ever have Ed Reed
died.
on here, do we say, "Do you remember the one time that you were mistaken for the janitor?"
Yeah. Do you remember HDA? And he's gonna be like, "Who?" And just be like, "The guy that thought you were a rep for Lee Marsh." He'll be like, "Oh yeah, that idiot." Yeah, he'll remember.
I love it.
Dude, but PCA was a blast.
We
man.
appreciate you.
It was fast paced. There were a lot of people, man. Everybody was there, all the big hitters, everything. But I think by far that was the highlight of PCA was not knowing who Ed Reed was.
This is why we do this. Like, flat out, this is why we do this. I'm sure it's been said before, but man, this is fucking phenomenal.
I'm so glad that I'm so glad that everybody gets a kick out of that story. Yeah,
We've all been there,
fuck
brother.
you, John. Stop bringing it up, man. Damn.
So, what's it like being, I don't know if you guys are like private people or somebody who doesn't like the limelight or someone who likes to just like sit and kind of off by themselves. What's it like being thrust into all these different podcasts? Because over the last few months, you guys have had to hit a lot of them.
I hate it, bro.
I'm an
being
introvert,
completely
100%. I am very happy with every night coming home, sitting by myself, enjoying my cigar. I am deathly terrified of people. I don't like people. I don't like being out in public. I don't like public speaking. I'm on a fucking podcast, thanks to that jerk right there. But I'm just saying, what's it like being put out here in front of everybody, spotlight on you all?
Well, first of all, I never would have guessed it, by the way, either. You guys both do a phenomenal job. So you definitely do a really good job of faking it.
Mick's a freaking extrovert. He can go out there and he can stand in the middle of everybody and claim a show.
I can take over a room pretty quickly. But Charles is one of the best fucking storytellers and one of the best question people I've ever met in my life. So like I knew we had to do this together. Like this guy can bring stories out of people that they didn't know that they remembered. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
it makes sense. Yeah, we're doing it tonight. I know exactly what you mean.
It's unbelievable what he does, and he hates being in front of people, but I think it works. It's just one of those things that works. But for you guys, I mean, is that something that you guys do enjoy, don't enjoy? Like, I guess I'm going back to Charles' original question, but
I'm not an introvert. I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm an extrovert. Like my wife is the introvert. So when we go to events and stuff, she's like nothing. So I have to like be the life of the party. But social media, I work in IT. I hate it. I can't stand it, to be completely honest. And then like when we started the brand and everything, we started standing things up. Me and Zach, literally, I mean, for Instagram, we paper rock scissored it, man. And Zach lost. I was just like, no, I have no interest in that at all. Like before this, I had no Facebook, I had no social media, I had nothing.
Yeah, we definitely have been learning social media through HDA. I remember we actually had a conversation with I don't know if you remember this, Dre. We had a conversation with James and Angela when we were at Oveja, and one of the things that they asked us was like, well, who's going to be like the face of the company? Who's going to be the one that is predominantly doing a lot of these appearances, and who's going to kind of take the lead? And we both looked at each other and we're like, because neither one of us weren't really wanted to do it. And in a perfect world, we'd operate from the shadows. I almost equate it to like the musicians that always keep their face covered because they don't want people to actually know who they are, and they just want to be judged simply off of the product that they produce. But at the same time, we also wanted to share our story, so they were kind of like in combination, or in they were opposites of one another. So it just made sense that somebody kind of had to take the lead. I drew the short straw. I'm kind of one of those people that can be extroverted, but it's a very taxing oftentimes to do a lot of these like very public appearances. It's one of those that like you have to like it takes me. I need time to myself as well. I'm very much the type of person that prefers to be a part of a conversation, but not necessarily be the center.
I don't want to start a conversation.
Yeah,
I would like to be involved, but after a podcast, it's like an adrenaline dump that I just need to sit and just be like, I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to, I don't want to do anything. And the bad thing is, it's usually this late, and I'm still having to do it. So,
but it works, man. I mean, Zach's beard has gone a long way, man. I mean, I can't grow one, so there you have it. So that's a conversation starter. Everybody's got Mike Glover. Shout out to Mike. Mike's always giving me shit like, Dre, you just gotta let it grow. Like I'm like, not gonna happen, bro. Not gonna happen.
It is growing. Can't you tell?
Yeah, exactly.
every day. No, it's funny though, because with same thing with all of us. Like I was up in Nashville. Probably Charles, like 3-4 months ago, and our Uber driver actually recognized me from clips from the show, and I'm like, this is fucking weird. Yeah, like this is fucking weird. And then it happened to Charles at Scenic City. Was it a Scenic City?
No, it was a local lounge around here. I just happened to be sitting in there talking with somebody who is now a sponsor.
Weird.
and somebody walks in and just stops and looks and goes, "You're the podcast guy." I went, "No, I'm not."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, you really are."
That's awesome.
It's so weird, but at the same time, it means we're doing it for the right reasons, and it's actually getting out there, and we're trying to build this community, and that's all it's ever been for us, man. And it's pretty cool to see, and yeah, we're all a little different on how we take the acknowledgement, I guess, or the nod, but it's still pretty cool, man. I'll take it.
So one of my final questions I'm going to ask is, I like to I like to keep pushing on this. What's one of the best memorable podcasts you guys have been on? Because you're doing quite a few.
I think for me, the first one, I think I was nervous out of my wits, man.
Who was the first one? Was it
Zack
Toro?
I was actually,
yeah.
I was sitting in the office. I remember that.
Yeah. So I did HDA's very first podcast, I did solo. And then I think I had done like one or two, and then you ended up joining. I think the very first one you did actually, Dre, was Cigar Guys.
Yeah.
Or the Cigar Dudes, rather.
I know I was sitting in the office and I was sweating bullets, bro. I'm like trying to set up my wife's desk because I couldn't use my desk and my kids' desks are over there. So I'm like sweating. I'm nervous. I'm like, do I look good? Do I sound okay? Like I was like freaking out, bro. Yeah. But Zack, every time we complete a podcast, me and Zack always think of like, good job, bro. I'm like, you sure? He was like, yeah, man, you good. Don't worry. Stop worrying. So I think that's for me.
You guys have done fantastic tonight. So, so one of the things that we like to do towards the end of the show is we call it the hot box questions. It is 10 fast questions that you guys can be as serious or as funny as you want to be. It's 10 questions that's going to get asked to each one of you. And we always like to know, would you guys like to play a little bit of hot box questions?
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Before we get started, we have to say thank you to the people who sponsor hot box questions. And it happens to be the face of, it's not the face of HDA, but it's one of the beards of HDA. It's Beard Apothecary.
Hey guys, listen up. Give your beard the VIP treatment it deserves with Beard Apothecary. They are a small business on a big mission, crafting top-tier beard care products made by hand in small batches for ultimate freshness and care. A healthy, well-groomed beard isn't just a look, it's a lifestyle. That's why they use only the finest premium butters and oils to deeply nourish your beard and skin. No more dryness, irritation, or those dreaded split ends. Your beard will be living its best life, soft, manageable, and downright irresistible. At Beard Apothecary, they believe in the power of natural ingredients and serious pampering. Why settle for basic when your beard can be freaking legendary? Check them out at beardapothecary.com or on Instagram at beard_apothecary. Your beard will thank you.
And a huge thanks to everybody, John and Tanya at Beard Apothecary, for all the trust that you gave into us. And just remember, Tanya is our favorite Aldi.
Dude, and don't act like John has anything to do with that company. It's all Tanya, okay? Like we're not gonna. He might have a beard, but she's the mastermind behind everything.
She's the chemist behind it. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
She can put
I have
together
one of those car
amazing
diffusers.
stuff.
I have
new
one of those
flavor.
car diffusers in my truck. I use I use their. I love their stuff, man. Great stuff. The beard wash too, and it's great.
Oh yeah, the new Daddy O is fucking amazing. Like that's one of my favorite scents. That shit's amazing.
We both use their stuff, and getting ready to go on my big trip, I went ahead and replaced the car diffuser that I have in my car with a brand new one because I absolutely love it, and it's the first scent thing that I've had in my car that my daughter, when I was taking her to school, when I first put it in there, she was like, "Papa, what is that?" And I went, I'm looking around going, "What is what?" She's like, "No, the smell." And I was like, is something wrong? She's like, "No, it smells good." And it's like, okay, cool. Got that one. But guys, really quickly before we jump into this one, make sure you're typing in #RealSmoke. We do have a couple of prizes to give away tonight. We do have 2 gift cards from Beard Apothecary where you can, 2 gift cards from Cigar Vault, Oakdale, where you can pick up these guys' cigars, as well as a prize pack from Katie Cigars and something from Beard Apothecary, which will be mailed out when I get back because I'm not stopping my trip to go mail that out. But anyways, Mick, you always start off with question number 1. What is question number 1?
Question number 1. I like to throw everybody off with this. So, what is your least favorite sound?
A baby crying.
Yes.
Sorry, yeah, I hate the sound of the baby crying. It's the worst. Go ahead, Dre. And I have a child. Granted, she's 15, so I haven't heard the baby crying from my own house in a while. But yeah,
If
Go
she's
ahead.
15,
baby.
she's still the baby crying.
No, she's not a baby crying anymore. But
I think
still
baby
does.
crying on the plane. I think that's the worst.
Winner.
yeah. Touche.
All right, so question number 2. Fill in the blank for me. Cigars are all about what?
Passion.
People.
Nice. You guys have done this a few times.
I
No.
like it. All right. What is your favorite musical band or artist?
Woo! Believe it or not,
AC/DC.
brother, I'm a huge Metallica fan, man.
Nice.
I did not see that coming. No offense at
Favorite
all, but I
Metallica
did
song.
not see that coming.
Go.
Hey, as that.
Favorite Metallica song.
Huh?
Favorite Metallica song.
Oh my God. I got introduced to Metallica, Garage Inc. So Whiskey in the Jar was the first thing I hit in Bosnia Herzegovina, and I was a huge fan, bro. So it kind of went from there.
So there's your notes, Mick.
I just so you guys know, I may use that when I repost after the show for the replay. I may use that as a sound on it. So just letting you know, it's kind of my thing. But Zach,
Oh, yeah.
what do you got?
AC/DC. AC/DC is my favorite band of all time.
Oh man, I hit that a couple times in the promos. That's fucking great. I actually hit it this week. That's good. All right, cool.
Yeah, man, I love AC/DC.
Favorite AC/DC song?
You shook me all night long.
Nice. All right, so question number 4. It could be music, movies, TV, food, whatever. What is your favorite guilty pleasure?
Ooh.
You broke out there. Favorite what?
Guilty
Guilty
pleasure.
pleasure.
For me, it's pepperoni pizza. I freaking love pepperoni pizza.
Dude, I think for me it's cigars in my cars, man. Like, just don't bother me. I want to smoke a cigar and go play with my cars. Don't bother me.
Hell yeah.
So we have to go into this. He said cigar in his cars. So Andre's a car guy. What do we have?
Oh, yeah. So I got a 2004 Z06 anniversary commemorative.
Nice.
And I'm a country boy, I told you, so I got a 3500 mega cab diesel. That's my daily driver.
Oh, hells yeah.
And then, of course, so now you put all my business in the street, but my wife, I bought my wife a GLS Mercedes because we got boys. And then I have an Airstream that I tow with my diesel.
Nice.
Man, I love it, man. That is, yeah, you can't beat the big truck, man. Hell yeah.
No, man, gotta have it, brother.
All right, so question number 5. This is the one that got us banned from Instagram, and Matt Booth called me a fucking asshole. So, is cereal a soup?
No. Who the fuck says that cereal's a soup? Is that real?
It's.
Mick says cereal is a soup.
I fight for it every week. It's protein and liquid. I mean, how do you go
Dude.
wrong with it? It's protein and liquid.
No,
Come on,
man.
man.
Soup is
There's a lot of things
dude,
that's
I'm
protein
sorry.
and liquid that I wouldn't call a soup.
No, dude. All right. Hold on. We got to pause on. Dre, I got to take over here for a second. Soup? All right. First of all, soup is hot. Like, and you're not going to change my mind on that. And it's like usually like vegetable based too, right? Soup? No, man. I'm sorry, dude. Cereal is like who goes to a soup restaurant and they have like cereal? That's chaos. That's
Don't
chaos.
be sorry.
They're just
Don't be
both
sorry.
liquid.
Don't be sorry. This is why we do this. I love
You
that
know what I-
question, man. Because
you know what I
everybody's
thought
like,
about,
what
Zach?
the fuck is wrong with you?
Like, I thought about the turtle soup you had in New Orleans. I'm like, how the fuck would you put milk on turtle soup? Like, that wouldn't work. Like,
Yeah, man. Could you imagine the soup Nazi from Seinfeld is like, it's just
No
he's
soup
like
for
talking
you.
about cinnamon. Yeah, he's like talking about cinnamon toast crunch. No,
No
that's
cereal
crazy.
for you.
No,
Matt,
man.
Matt Booth was so pissed off, man. It was the best. It was part of the best episode we ever had. It was
Yeah.
great. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you guys followed
Rightfully
suit. That's
so.
great.
Where do
All
we
right,
stop? Protein shakes? Is that considered a soup? I don't know, man. I'm
Maybe,
sorry.
yeah.
They could be. If you say cereal's a soup, protein shakes have to be.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. Next
All right.
question.
So question number 6. What is the one thing in your life you're most proud of?
My military career for me, man.
Raising a daughter. She's a really, really good kid. And I would say that I don't know how I did it right, but I apparently did.
Awesome. Both perfect answers, man. All right, question number 7. If you could choose a superpower, what would it be and why?
Jeez,
I want to fly. I want to be able to fly, dude.
How could I guess that one? I mean, the
Yeah,
Air
yeah,
Force guy who loves aircrafts, he wants to fly.
I didn't even think about that. That is pretty cliche, right? I should
A little
probably,
bit.
Yeah, that's super cliche. I didn't even think. Yeah.
I think I would want to read people's minds. It'd be interesting.
Ooh, I don't know. That's
it
a
would.
dangerous road to go down, dude.
I couldn't do
A
that.
little scary.
Oh man, yeah. You just hear insults. I would hear constant insults. That'd be demoralizing.
Yeah, he would be over here going like, why is he so pissed off thinking I'm a janitor? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have made that mistake if I could have read his mind. I would have known who the hell he was, right?
No, he was
Like,
thinking, fuck this guy.
he'd
Why-
be sitting
why
over here
does he not
thinking,
know who I am?
yeah, why does he not know who I am? He
Yeah.
should know who I am. Why is he? Okay, anyways. Question number 8. You guys have been together for quite a while. Anytime you're in a partnership, whether it's like me and Mick or whether it's you guys like this, it's kind of like a marriage because you guys got to learn to work together. You've got to learn how to communicate and things like that. What is the best thing that you can think of as having either Andray having Zack as a partner or Zack having Andray a partner? What is the thing that you are most thankful for in your partner?
Dude, I'll kick off. I'll say, man, wives that support our passion and dreams for cigars. I mean, they thought we were batshit crazy, man. One thing we didn't touch on, everything that we put in the HDA, man, is Zack and our resources, man. So I think our wives was like, you guys are nuts. And then now my wife, even though she's introverted, she makes jokes and she's like, oh, are you talking to your wife? You and Zack going to sell your sticks? So like, that's the joke now. But yeah, I think that's important.
I think you're supposed to be paying me a compliment, Dre, for the record. I think you're supposed to say what you like about me.
Oh, sorry, sweetheart.
Yeah, technically. What is the one thing that you what is the one thing that you're thankful for or that you appreciate about your partner, meaning Zack?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Zack. Oh man.
Dre is he's the steady, calm, like rock. I'm the one that will feel like the sky is falling. I ride the emotional roller coaster. Dre is steady. He's the one that's like, nah, Zack, that's a stupid idea, or man, that's a really good idea. And then he empowers me when I like when there is like really something to some of the ideas that I come up with. He's like a sounding board. He's the guy that every day after he gets out of work, I feel like we're on the phone and I'm this happened. What do you think about this, and this? And then he just has to sit there and like, yes, Zack, and has to absorb it and tell me to pound sand on certain things. But yeah, I would say just the fact that he's steady, calm, and keeps me in check.
But I throw that back at you, man, because my wife was like, sometimes you're too soft. She's like, I'm glad you got Zack because you would give away the whole business.
Yeah.
It's a balance, man. That's awesome.
No doubt.
All right, so my last question for the night. If you could have a cigar with any historical figure, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Ugh.
So
Go ahead,
I
Brett.
was asked this question. I can't remember. I was asked this question on a podcast once, and I thought about it a lot afterwards, and I wasn't sure. Like, there's so many good options. I think I originally said, and I probably still stand by it. Like, General Patton, I think would be a really, really cool person to have a cigar with, and like just. It makes me sound really old and lame, but yeah, like yeah, but whatever. Anyway, I think he would be him or like Winston Churchill to like kind of like peek inside their mind and just understand like the pressures that they were facing during that time, and just sit and shoot the shit with those guys. I think would be wildly cool.
Dude, I got no comeback for that, man. I think that's pretty freaking awesome.
See, one of the ones that I would like to, I'm a big military and history buff. I would love to get George Washington, Patton, Colin Powell, and Stormin' Norman all in a room together, light a cigar, and I want you to tell me about, because that's all the generations going through war, and I want you to tell me what it was like, in your day and how it's changed and things like that. I think that would be a huge, experience right there.
Yeah, no doubt. Sorry, you mentioned George Washington, and I'm a big comedy fan. Have you ever heard of Shane Gillis?
Yes.
Yeah,
I know the name. Yeah.
dude. So he has a bit about George Washington that will forever change. Like it was like one of the funniest things. He's a huge history buff, so he incorporates a lot of history into his comedy, and he has a bit on George Washington. So when you get off of this, look up Shane Gillis George Washington. He has like a 5-minute bit on George Washington. I guarantee you, you'll piss your pants. It's hilarious. Yeah. So now, having said that answer, think about that when you go into watching that bit. It's especially funny.
Oh yeah, usually it's pretty common, and like we get a lot of like the history buffs. Like we get George Washington, we get Colin Powell, we get but the one that threw me off was when we had Pete Johnson on here, Tatawahe. He goes Nancy Reagan.
Oh,
that would
okay.
be interesting.
And,
Yeah.
and any reason behind it, and I'm like, okay, I see it. It's pretty cool. So smoke a cigar with Nancy Reagan. Fuck yeah, I'm down. That's cool.
It's funny you say that. There's no kids on this, right?
I'm just
now I'm thinking, now my wheels are turning up. I was
Go
like,
on, Dre. What are you gonna say, dude?
I'm
ready.
Bro, I told you, man. I'm thinking, right? And I'm thinking Cleopatra, because now I want to know how you toppled the whole damn country. I'm like, that had to be
no joke.
Oh, fuck
yeah. Yeah.
In her time, the most powerful woman in the world.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Or I want to smoke a cigar with anybody who knows the truth about aliens. That's who I want to smoke a cigar with, dude. I want to know it all, dude. I want to peek.
It's out there, man.
It's out there.
All right, so question number 10. And by the way, we have a huge ass storm coming in, so I keep trying to mute myself so it doesn't, drown everybody out. What is the best piece of advice each of you have been given?
That's pretty good.
I like when the eyes roll back in the head. That's what I tell my wife anyways. I like when the eyes roll back in the head and you're constantly thinking.
Yeah, man. Dre, you start this one, dude. I got to think about that.
Not to go, crazy, down that tube or anything, man. But I just think for me, man, we live in the best country in the world, right? To be sitting here, a little country boy from Little Rock, Arkansas, man. You can do whatever you want. You can achieve it. You can get it. Go for it, man. Run. I mean, Zack and I are sitting here running HDA, as we previously stated. So don't let nobody tell you any different, man. Go out there and get what you want, man. Focus, and you can achieve it. So.
And what's fun about that is that kind of goes back to what the doctor told you when you were a young man standing inside of his house, looking around, and you asked, "Is this your house?" And he said, "Yeah, all of it."
Absolutely.
Put your mind to it. You can have anything you want, man.
I'm living proof, man. I'm here, brother.
I would say, I've heard it from multiple people, but it's something that I'm constantly reminding myself is just to be yourself. I think it's especially I struggle with certain aspects of my life. I feel like you're trying to appeal to what other people want out of you, but ultimately, everything that I've done, all the moves that I've made in my career, everything that I've done is just it's authentic. So I try and bring that to HDA too. It's just like, I just want to be myself. I remember I very recently I was talking with John the other day, and I ran an idea by him, and one of the things he said is like, dude, that's not you. Just be yourself. And it's something to constantly remind yourself. Just be yourself. Do your own thing, man. March to the beat of your own drum.
I like it.
And John does give good wisdom because he's basically a grandpa. So he is Papa
I-
John.
We
Pop
get a
Gandalf.
lot of
Dumbledore.
He is, but we love John, man. I know we all love to bust on him. We all love to play that game on the backside, but like we truly love what he's done for our show, and I know how good of a rep he is. Like he has had nothing but great things to say about both you guys personally, and also about your product, man. So like he's one of the best reps you could ever have out there, man, for real.
He's literally our only rep. Like it's Dre, Zach, and John. So he's probably going to be getting fired here soon because of his constant bullshit. But outside of that, yeah, he's pretty good. He's been an awesome friend to Dre and I.
Well, one thing going through this process and meeting a lot of reps and meeting a lot of brand owners, you find a lot of reps who are in it for just to be in it. They want to try to earn a buck or whatever. And then you meet guys like John, and this isn't like blowing John's head up because he won't be able to walk out of the building that he's sitting in right now. But if I had a brand, the person I would want repping it would be John because he has passion, and he doesn't. It's not like, hey, come buy this cigar, and he reads the shit off of it. It tastes like this. It looks like this. He goes, if he believes in the brand, he dives deep into it, and he believes in it. He will give his heart and soul to it. So we give John a lot of shit, and we love John, but you could not have a better person repping your brand because if he's repping you, he 100% believes in everything that you're doing. So
Absolutely.
And that was one of the biggest reasons when, that we had you on here. We were out in Chattanooga when he was bringing your brand to Chattanooga. And the first one he gave me was the Veiled Mutiny. And he said, here, smoke this. And I was like, okay, smoked it. And it's like, holy shit. And I ended up buying multiples of everything. I think our club, when he brought out all the boxes, and I think our club, including me, we bought 70% of what was out there because we all got to sit there and smoke it, and we listened to John talk about it. And, his conviction behind it was something that we fell in love with. So you're doing something right, guys.
Thank you. And thank you very much. Thank you so much for the support. I mean, John's been amazing, and I appreciate you, supporting us. I appreciate you giving us a platform to kind of talk to people. I mean, it's people like you guys, it's people like John, it's people like Jake, and people that we've met all along the way. Mike. I mean, there's so many people that have done so much for us, and we're probably just maybe a blip on the radar, but it really means a lot to Andray and I as a growing brand. People that believe in us, that really enjoy our product, for some reason want to listen to me talk. That stuff really that means a lot to Andray and I.
Don't ever change what you're doing, man, because like honestly, you're obviously doing it for the right reasons and what you love, and that's why we love brands like yours. So keep doing what you're doing, man. Stay on that same path.
Well, do, brother.
Appreciate that.
So, Mick, any final questions for you?
No, man. I think I'm all questioned out, but I'll probably steal Charles's thunder here. But honestly, this is your chance to tell everybody where to find you, tell everybody where to go to find you, and what you got coming next. And honestly, like I said before, anything you guys need, man. Like this is why we do this. Like, tag us in posts. Let us know what you got coming up, and if you guys ever need a little bit of airtime to talk about what you got, let us know, and we're always here for you, man. This is why we do this. But tell everybody where to find you and what you got going on.
Yeah, 100%. Let everybody know what's going on. We are a podcast that is 100% not monetized, and it's because we're not out here trying to make money. We're just trying to break even and do what we do. We want to bring you guys to the mass market. So we want to take you guys from boutique to mainstream. So yeah, let everybody know what you got going on.
I appreciate that. So HDAcigars.com If you go to Find HDA Cigars, it'll have a full list of all of the retailers, both online and brick and mortar locations where you can find HDA Cigars. As we kind of talked about, Phantom Fury is our most recent release, in addition to our core line. So reach out to one of your brick and mortar dealer or your brick and mortar favorite lounges, whether it's online or in person. Support your local guys, and check out HDA. If you've already had HDA, we appreciate your support and look forward to having you continue business. We have a couple of events coming up here in the next couple of weeks. We're going to be hanging out with Norm and Miguel at the Cigar Vault, just shooting the shit. So if you're in the area, come by. We'd love to have a cigar with you. Just the tip, also up in Pittsburgh, we're going to be doing an event where we're going to be donating a large proportion of the proceeds back to Tunnels to Towers, that organization there. So that's going to be a really cool event. We're also going to be at Creekside Cigar on July 3rd in Cincinnati, Ohio. And then we're also going to be at Smokers Abbey in Nashville on July 5th. So swing by those locations, come meet us. We're going to be running some cool deals, giving away some swag. And you can always pick up merch on our website as well. If you ever hit us up on Instagram, email, social media, anything like that, you just know that you're talking to Andray and I both. So if you ever need anything, let us know, and appreciate everybody's support.
Awesome. So shameless plug for what we do. If you guys ever get any hats in, let us know. We like to give hats away on here. So definitely let us know. Another thing, I know you're at Scenic City right now, Zach. I don't know if you're a hugger or not, but go find Rob after the podcast. If he's still out there, give him a great big hug and tell him Charles said hi.
No doubt.
So
at a minimum, I'll give him a handshake.
He will not shake your hand. He will tell you, I don't shake hands, I give hugs.
Okay. All right. Roger that.
So, and the last thing I want to do on here is, before these guys get off, what is the name of your new cigar?
Phantom Fury.
Guys, go to Cigar Vault Oakdale. I want to challenge everybody who's listening to the Real Smoke podcast to go to Cigar Vault Oakdale, and I want by the end of the weekend that all of the Phantom Fury is completely bought up. Use hashtag Real Smoke, buy everything that they have, and beg that you wish you had more. So, guys, go out there and support these guys, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed. But, guys, I want to thank you so much for jumping on here. We absolutely loved having you on here. Sorry we kept you on here so late, but, you had some great stories, and we love talking to you.
No, you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you guys are phenomenal. I don't have a whole lot to add to that, man. Charles hit the nail on the head, man. But you guys are phenomenal. We never script anything. We see where the podcast leads us, and but it actually led us perfectly tonight. Like, we actually hit that backstory perfectly, and I feel like you guys really had a story to tell, and I hope we got it out there and gave you guys some due justice on that. So we had fun with you guys. You guys were amazing, and we appreciate your time.
Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you having us on.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a fantastic night, and we will talk to you hopefully soon. Take it easy.
Good night, guys.
See you guys.
And as we always say, just like that, number 34 is in the books, and you could 34. Not ask for two freaking amazing guys. These guys were, I love what they're doing, and the camaraderie that they have with each other. They're not business partners; they're brothers, and 100%. That's what I love seeing. And I absolutely enjoyed the conversation that we had with them, and the fact that they were okay with just talking about growing up instead of just, hey, let's sell a cigar. So these guys were freaking fantastic. And if anybody on here is listening and watching, if you do not take the time to go try what they have, you're missing out. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. Phenomenal evening. Those guys, like I said, man, just they hit everything on it. Brotherhood, great cigars, everything we're about here, man. It was perfect.
All right, so AJ Jarvis just let us know. Good luck. There's 8 left. Guys, I want to challenge everybody that before we end in the next 30 minutes or so, that everybody buys the last 8 left. Mick, get on your fucking phone. I'm just saying.
I'm on it.
everybody go ahead and buy what's left and then smoke the hell out of them and then post pictures on them and tag us in it. Let us know what you think about it. Greg jumps on here and says, great show, great guest. 100%. These guys were freaking amazing. Great show tonight. These two are even nicer in person. I hope that one day soon I can get to meet both of them, because if they're this personable in person or on the podcast, they're going to be great people. Been smoking their cigars for a year now. That's awesome. AJ also says, I'm wearing the HDA t-shirt today. That's very cool. Devin says, hashtag hire Aldi. Well, he's already hired. He just might get fired. Just saying. Guys, really quickly, the next thing that we got going on is a cigar review. We are reviewing the Veiled Mutiny. And then we do have our prizes to give away, as well as cigar news, and then a little bit of Meanwhile in Memphis, but we will try to get that stuff out to you really quickly. So next thing that we have is our review. Say what?
They're gone.
They're gone.
I'm gonna message Norm real quick, but they're gone according to their website.
According to the website, the new cigar is sold out. Huge thanks to everybody in the Real Smoke audience for being able to go out there and buy the shit out of these cigars. We appreciate you, even though we didn't get one. But I will be contacting my family over at Scenic City to say, save me one. Just saying. So the next thing we got going on is the cigar review. And before we do that one, we do need to say thanks to the sponsor of the cigar review. But we also have to say some sad news. Cigar Army, in the lovely world that we live in with Instagram decided that all the wonderful things that Cigar Army does for kids and for the public and for people in need, Instagram decided to shut their page down.
Yeah.
Gotta love freaking Instagram, because there's nothing on their site that is offensive in any way. If you want to support kids in need, if you want to support veterans, if you want to support the community, Cigar Army is 100% about that one. And Instagram decided to try and delete their profile. So when we say go visit them at Cigar Army 3, we can't say that anymore, because right now they don't have a home on Instagram, and they're going to be trying to set up something new. But the ad that we need to read for this one is about the event that they are hosting to help kids in need. So when you see it on here and it says go to their whatever, just understand Instagram in their divine wisdom has decided that they are not worthy of being on their platform. So just go support them even more than what we already are.
I talked to one of their members earlier. Go to their Facebook page for now, and as soon as they have a new Instagram page, we will let you know. Or if by the grace of God they get their Instagram page back, which is pretty unlikely. Trust us, we know. But support them on Facebook, whatever you can do. It's painful. It's really painful to watch, man. But we've been through it. We give them the utmost luck, man. But fucking Instagram, man.
Yeah. So I will go ahead and put up the ad, their little spot, and I will read the ad spot. But guys, go support them even more than what you already are. Tonight's review is brought to you by Cigar Army. The Cigar Army and Sanj's Smoke Shop are teaming up to present Christmas in July, a Toys for Tots event. This event is happening Saturday, July 26th at Sanj's Smoke Shop from 2 p.m. to 7. Your $100 ticket will get your hands on some premium cigars, catered food, and soft drinks. This is a BYOB event, so feel free to bring your favorite bottle. Best part, proceeds go directly to Toys for Tots and their incredible programs that are helping kids in need. There will be raffles, swag for purchase, and a 50-50 drawing, and more. It will be a great way to enjoy your summer day, connect with the community, and make a real difference. Mark your calendars. Saturday, July 26th, Sanj's Smoke Shop. Come out, light up, and give back. Thank you to the Cigar Army for all that you do for not only us, the cigar community, as well as the kids in the military community first responders, everybody that you support. We support you, and we have your back.
Hell yeah. So we're doing a cigar review.
We are doing a cigar review.
I bet I go first.
You do, as always. Of course. What are you talking about?
All right, so I'm going to preface this by saying I had my first HDA while on vacation about 3 weeks ago, and I was blown away by the transitions. Everything I look for in a cigar, man. The strength was absolutely perfect. I had two.
Which
of the
one did you have? Oh, you had this one?
Yeah. Yep. And
can I ask you one question before you read your review?
Sure.
Was it a steady ride around the coastline, or did you get to ride the roller coaster?
It was a roller coaster. It definitely had those transitions that hit me, and I loved it. And that's what I look for. And I know this is the end of season 2, but this is the end of season 2. But I think this is a latecomer for it's going to bump up into the top 5 for me for sure. It was a great stick, man.
All right, let's hear it.
So aroma from the body, hay, barnyard, some natural tobacco sweetness. Aroma from the foot, hay, barnyard. A little bit of molasses. I got molasses sweetness on that. Aroma from the cold draw. It was honestly one of my favorite cold draws of the year. You got light hay, a little bit of barnyard, and some cocoa sweetness from the cold draw. First, third notes. I got coffee, leather, natural sweetness, cedar, a little bit of Earl Grey tea. Like it had that Earl Grey tea to it. I don't know exactly what the flavor profile was, but it reminded me of Earl Grey tea. On the retro, I got baking spices and black pepper. Second, third notes, I got coffee, a touch of milk chocolate. Again, that molasses sweetness, cedar, a little bit of earthiness, slight damp earthiness, leather, and again, that touch of Earl Grey tea, light black pepper on the retro. Final third notes, I got coffee, leather, cedar, again, a little touch of damp earth, baker's chocolate, and again the cedar, and then retro I got the light black pepper and the nutmeg. Pre-light experience, I give it an 18 out of 20. Flavor enjoyment, 14 out of 15. Construction characteristics, 28 out of 30. Smoke production and final thoughts, 32 out of 35. I'd say it was a medium plus the whole way through pretty much. It got amped up a little bit at the end. I gave it a total of 92.
Nice. A 92. All right. So I will back you on saying that this was not I think about it as, am I on my motorcycle? Am I driving down the interstate? Am I driving the country roads? Am I enjoying the time? And it's just that steady path. Or am I at Six Flags and I'm on a roller coaster? I want the roller coaster.
Absolutely.
I got the roller coaster.
Oh yeah.
I got exactly what I was wanting. And my score is going to show that. Aroma off the body, chocolate, floral, and fruit. Pre-light or aroma off the foot, chocolate, dark fruits. Cold draw with sweet tobacco and floral. On the light, cedar, floral, spice. Retro is floral, black pepper, cinnamon. Into the first, notes up front are floral, cedar, and citrus. The retro is floral, cedar, and a slight green tea. There's that tea note.
There's that tea.
Followed by a slight spice. Draw is fantastic. Burn is slightly wavy. Smoke is thick and full of flavor. Ash stacks dimes and holds the entire third. Finish is long and leaves a slight tart note. Strength is a medium. Into the second, notes up front is coffee, bready, and a sweet cream and tart note. Retro is coffee, floral, cedar, bready, and chocolate has found a way into the mix. Draw is still fantastic. Burn goes off but catches up every time. Ash is thick and holds each third. Smoke is still thick and chewy. Long finish, medium plus strength. Into the final third, I get more coffee, but into an introduction into a slight earth and mineral. Slight creamy sweetness at the end. The retro is cedar, coffee, earth, and a little slight mineral. Draw is great. Burn and ash are fantastic. Smoke is still thick and full of flavor, medium to full strength. It to me, it bounced more off the medium, but never crossed that line into completely full, but it rode it really well.
100%.
So scores, pre-light experience, an 18 out of 20. Flavor enjoyment, a 15 out of 15. I think it may be the first one that I gave straight fives all across the board. Smoke construction and characteristics. Construction, 9 out of 10. Draw, 10 out of 10. Burn, 9 out of 10. Smoke texture, gave it a 5 out of 5. Overall experience, a 19 out of 20. Would I buy a box? A 10 out of 10. Final score, it tied my highest of the year, 95.
Wow. Okay.
You gave it a
92.
92. I give it a 95. This one comes in at a 93.5. We rounded up to a 94. Real Smoke Podcast scores DeVale Mutiny a 94.
Hell yeah. Amazing.
Fantastic cigar. You
Yep.
gave it a 90 what? 92. 92. So that one will be going out. Congratulations to HDA Cigars for putting out one hell of a cigar. It tied my favorite cigar of the year so far. So, and when I went back and looked at the scores, it was dead up there. So the one that we rated the highest was the Frecky box press from Family by Loyalty, another boutique cigar company. And then this one comes in right behind it. So freaking awesome, freaking fantastic, and phenomenal.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. This was one that I knew from the minute I lit it on vacation that I was like, yep, this is going to be my top 5 for the year. So yeah, man, it's awesome. I did just get clarification. Norm has 18 of those cigars left. We just got 4 of them. So
nice.
They're set aside for us. Yeah.
Guys, there's 18 cigars left. If you can go find a way to buy more, buy more. Let's get these things sold out. Cigar Vault Oakdale needs none of them by tomorrow morning. So if they don't have them online, reach out to them and say, hey, Real Smoke says you got a few. Give us some.
Absolutely.
So the next thing that we got going on is some prizes to give away. We have two $25 gift cards to Cigar Vault that you could use to go buy these awesome cigars. We have a cigar pack from Katie Cigars, and we have some from Beard Apothecary. Just a reminder, there are some rules going back to the Cigar Vault. Mick will let you know about that one. We will see what's going on. Let me go ahead and get that set up. Mick, while you go ahead and give everybody the rules and information, I will go ahead and set this up.
Yeah, so if you won last week or any time in the month of June, you cannot win again from Cigar Vault Oakdale. So we're just trying to spread the love a little bit. Those guys spread the love with us every week. So any of the brands that we have on here that are repeats as people giving stuff away for us, man. We try to spread the love. So if you won already this month, you cannot win again this month.
So let's see. Cigar Vault winners was Chris on episode 32, and which episodes are we in? So do we have 1 or 2?
We have 3, I think. So last week.
Okay.
Last week
was Chris.
Okay.
And then episode 31 was Mitch. And then episode 30 was Devin. So Devin, Mitch, and Chris, sorry about your luck, brothers. But you can also win something new that we pop out there. And so let's go ahead and do that one. So Cigar Vault, $25 gift card to Cigar Vault. Let's see who wins. So remember, you have to be live. You have to be in the continental United States It's well, Devin, didn't he already win?
I thought that was a previous month, so I think he's
Oh,
good.
There.
I do think he's good.
He's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So little Devi. So we'll put Devin, Devin, only if he's in here. Devin, are you in here? Mick says that you still qualify. So Devin, you have about 30 seconds to post that you're on here. Are you on here? Come on.
I think he's flexing that picture there. Is he flexing? I think.
He is. I thought it had been a while. He says, yes. Little
You're
Debbie,
good,
you got this one, so we will send you in. Mick had to go ahead and check his notes because I forgot to post it. I didn't get here till 10 minutes before podcast, so I didn't get a chance to make my notes. Sorry.
You're good.
All right, so Devin, you are our winner of number 1. Cigar Vault number 2. Who do we have? Let's spin it. Ooh, we just got more entries in. I love that.
Ooh.
Who is it? Who is it?
What in the hell is going on?
Oh,
No.
not happening.
How is that even possible?
And then why we need to do the whole you can't win more than once. So, Devin, we love you, but guess what? You don't get both of them. We're spinning the thing again. Here it goes. It loves Devin. It's like we miss little Devi. We haven't seen him in a while.
Oh, man. Where's the little Debbie picture?
Frank, the Cigar Army. Wow. Here we go. Frank, I have a picture. We need to get those stickers made. Look at little Debbie.
It's phenomenal. Frank, congratulations.
All right. Come on, Frank. Well, can't congratulate him yet. I haven't heard from him. Come on. Come on, Frank. Frank, you're on here. Be on here. Frank. Mick, they screamed at me last time because they said I moved too soon. So I'm going to let you tell me when to spin it.
All right. I'm counting here, Frank. You have another, according to my watch, you have another 18 seconds.
Frankie Poo. Come on.
Frank, did you really go to bed right before the prizes? I mean, come on, Frank. Man,
you let us talk all about you and how awesome you are, and then you leave us? How dare you? Get you ends up says, let it spin. Devin says,
5,
come on, Frank.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And here we go. We spin it again. $25 gift card to to Cigar Vault. Sorry. Goodness gracious.
I was excited.
John must be in my brain today. AJ Jarvis. AJ says, I'm here, boys.
There he is.
Frank, oh, look. Frank just said, I'm here, and I'm sorry. We already spun. I apologize, Frank, but we gave you ample time. I apologize. Sorry. AJ, you're the winner.
Frank,
so, both of you, Devin and AJ, what I need you to do is this. I need you to send Mick on the podcast channel your name, your mailing name, your address, your phone number, and your email. And what people tend to do the least is send their email. Yeah. So make sure you send your name, your address, your phone number, and your email. The next one they're going to give away is the Katie Cigars. So that's open to everybody. If for some reason you have actually won the Katie Cigars before and you would like to pass it on, just like somebody did on one of the last shows, they said spin it again because they had already won it. They want to get it out there to everybody. So if that is completely up to you, but this next pack is for Katie Cigars. So let's spin again. And if you've already won tonight, you are not eligible to win again. Just saying, Devin, you cannot win again. Rob the Cigars are. Rob, if you're on here, let us know. If you want the cigars, let us know again. But all you got to do is say, I am here, and we will put you down. Rob says he is here, and he is ready for the cigars. So, Rob, what I need from you, send me a message with your mailing name, address, and that's all I need from you. If you want to send your email address as well, just so he has it, maybe he sends a shipping. I'm not sure how he does it because I just don't know. But send me that stuff personally because I will get it out to him. And then the last one, we do have a product from Beard Apothecary. If you won something in the past from Beard Apothecary, it was already sent out. It got sent out this week. AJ says, I won something a few months ago. Am I still on file? You are, but for us to pull up your information, I do need you to still send all that information once again. I need your mailing name, your address and phone number, and email address. That way they can confirm it on their account. So the last one that we have going on is something from Beard Apothecary. But again, I will say this. There's a lot of people that have won something from Beard Apothecary. If you want us to spin it again, you are more than welcome to say, spin that thing again. And we just had more entries go on here. That is freaking awesome. So here we go. This is for Beard Apothecary. And remember, guys, I will be gone all week next week. I will send it out when I get back. So it's going to be a little bit. Get your hands up.
On Facebook.
It's probably going to be a... Really? Did I just drop out? It's going to be either a oil or a butter. Get your hands up. Are you on here? Talk to us. Come back to us. Get you. You got to get you some. Come on. Uh-oh, Mick. We're going to let you do this.
All right, we'll give 10 more seconds.
10? Let's do 15. From now. Okay. 15. Hey, guys, we want to thank you guys for so much for jumping on here and listening, doing all this stuff. We really need your help, especially because when we're gone for a week or, Mick for 2 months when he was gone for, 6 months, we really lost a lot of subscriptions. We lost a lot of information. So, guys, do us a favor. Help push this stuff out there. If you haven't liked, subscribed, or followed the podcast, help us out. We really need that one. We got rookie numbers, and I think we're doing a good job. And some of you tell us we're doing a good job. So show us we're doing a good job. Like and subscribe. So, Mick, has that been 20 seconds or so?
Yeah, it sure has been.
All right, let's spin it again. This is for Beard Apothecary. Your beard will be fantastic.
Didn't get your ends up. Just say that we need to spin it again in the last thing. Where'd it go? Hologram. You still there, brother? Oh, yep, there you are.
My computer is trying to take a shit. Hologram. Gabe, you're on here. Hologram says he's here. Hey, Gabe, where are you from? Let us know. I'd love to know. He's watching us on Facebook.
Cool.
There's still a few of you guys on here. There's quite a bit on here. We do have the option of streaming from Facebook or Instagram. Facebook, you can comment and we can post your stuff up on here. Instagram, we cannot. What do you guys prefer? Should we stick to Facebook or should we alternate Facebook 1 week, Instagram another week, or should we go straight to Instagram? By the way, Hologram, congratulations.
Congrats. Hey, real quick, I saw Pedro Ramos on here, one of our sponsors, Hayes Gray. I don't know how I didn't know this, but they are in Pensacola, Florida. I'm going to be there in 2 weeks on a little weekend trip. And hopefully we get to meet up, hang out, have a few cigars. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm glad I don't know how I didn't know that in the past, but I do now. So hopefully I get to see you here in a couple weeks, bro.
Hey, Hologram, do me a favor. To be able to send this out to you, I need your mailing name and address. Hit me up on Instagram or if you're on our Facebook page, send me a message on there and I will get to it. But congratulations to Devin on winning Cigar Vault, AJ for winning Cigar Vault. Make sure you guys send that to Mick, Katie, Cigar Pack. That goes to Rob. Make sure you send that to me. And then Beard Apothecary, Hologram wins that one. And we will take care of that.
Hells yeah.
Let's stop that screen and get our pretty faces back on here.
There we are.
But guys, we really do absolutely love that you guys watch us on here. Make sure that you do us a favor and get this information out there to everybody. We would absolutely love and appreciate it. We want to try to get our presence back out there. And one thing I did realize is we are about 100 members or followers away on Instagram from getting back into the 4,000s where we got banned at. So we would love to get you back on Instagram. That way, we can kind of start from scratch again.
We're almost back.
Almost back. So let's see. We got a couple things left. We got cigar news.
Yep.
We have Meanwhile in Memphis.
Yes, sir.
So what we're going to do is we are splitting our sponsorship with Cigar Public as well as 13 Knives this week once again.
Uh-oh. I think we may have lost him this time. Well, how's everybody doing out there? I was all ready for the intro music. So, wait, is he coming back? I think he's coming back.
Can you believe this crap?
There he is. I was ready to take over, man. I was ready. I was a little bit nervous for a minute, but I was ready.
Oh my gosh. 2 weeks in a row. This stuff is going nuts. Anyways, our news. The new segment of the Real Smoke Podcast is brought to you by 13 Knives. If you are still cutting your cigars with cheap Chinese-made cutters, it's time to grow up. Forget the cheap plastic junk. 13 Knives are handmade right here in the U.S. of A. using 1095 high-carbon steel. My computer tried to freeze up again. Why? Because sharp matters, and so does quality. Robert's been making knives since 2016, backed by 33 years of high-end manufacturing, and it freaking shows. Every cut is clean. Every blade is built to last. No gimmicks, no BS, just real steel skill, and if you look at the picture, sex appeal and respect for the craft. He stands by every single cigar blade he makes. Whether you're a collector, a connoisseur, or just someone who wants their gear to match their grit, 13 Knives is for you. Follow him on Instagram at XII_knives_. Also, 10% of everything ordered in the month of June goes to help active duty veterans and first responders suffering with PTSD. Check out 13 Knives on Instagram. Trust me, you will not regret it.
Oh, yeah.
See if I can get his pretty mug off here.
I love it.
Look at that picture. Let's go back to that picture. Come on, look at that picture.
Is that Fred
Bring him up
Durst?
here again.
I think it's Fred Durst.
See, I was wondering how Fred Durst started, sponsoring him. How did he? I mean,
I don't know.
It really, it really fits him when it says no gimmicks, no BS, just real steel skill and sex appeal.
I really think he's doing
that part because I know he would be like, okay, stop, shut up.
He would, but I really do think he does it all for the nookie. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think he does.
He does. He does it all for the nookie. So we have a couple of stories on here. And by the way, no new news from Cigar Public, but if you want to go check out some of their stuff, go check out Cigar Public at Cigar Public on Instagram or cigarpublic.com. But I did bring a few stories from a couple other places. This comes from Brooks over at Half Wheel, and this comes from one of our family members that we love talking about.
Okay.
Wait, did I freeze up?
You're good, I think. You're choppy, but you're good.
Oh, there I am. This is going to be a show and a half. So if you can still hear me, Cavalier ships Project Broadleaf Baltimore this week. The second release of Cavalier's Project Broadleaf series will ship to retailers this week. Project Broadleaf Baltimore, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but oh well, is a 5 1/4 by 52 cigar made up of Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, a binder from Jalapa, Nicaragua, and fillers from tobacco grown in Honduras and Nicaragua. Each cigar has a MSRP of $14.60, and the production is limited to 500 bundles of 10 cigars. The Project Broadleaf series will consist of 4 releases, each using a different vitola and an internal blend, but all with Connecticut broadleaf wrappers. The first release in the series, Project Broadleaf Skywalker, shipped to stores in April. It used a Mexican San Andreas binder over fillers from Honduras and Nicaragua. According to Cavalier, the details of the final 2 blends will be revealed at a later date. However, all 4 releases will eventually become annual releases, possibly with tweaks to their blends over time.
Nice.
In an email, Sebastian, founder of Cavalier Cigars, told Half Wheel that the bundles of Project Broadleaf will begin shipping to stores between today and tomorrow.
Awesome.
So I'm extremely excited to try that one. I wanted to try the first one. I saw that one out, and I can't wait to try this one. But for me, I'm a huge Cavalier fan, so 99.9% of everything that they put out is freaking fantastic.
Absolutely.
So we just talked about, our family over at Cavalier, right?
Yeah.
So we got to talk about another family member.
Okay.
And we love this guy.
Okay.
Patrick over at Half Wheel shares this one. Lore Cigars releases second edition of The Last Cast. Lore Cigars has announced that it will soon be releasing the second edition of its Last Cast limited edition, a cigar created to honor Lou Cross Jr.'s father of the brand owner, Lou Cross. The cigar is a 6x54 Toro that uses a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, a binder grown on the island of Ometepe in Nicaragua, and fillers that come from Esteli, Condega, and Ometepe. Lou Cross says it's a slightly stronger blend than last year's release. The company is not disclosing the factory producing the cigar, but it says that the production is limited to only 4,500 cigars. The Last Cast is a full-bodied celebratory smoke that you will want to make time to slow down, smoke intentionally, and reminisce about the time well spent with family and friends, especially those who are no longer with us. The company wrote in a press release, adding that the profile has notes of espresso, leather, dark fig, and baking spices. The cigar gets its name from the final cast of the day when fishing, which comes with the hope of one more bite, one more thrilling moment, and one more tall tip that the company wrote. The price is set for $15 a cigar or $150 for a pack of 10, which is shipping around June 25th.
I know how special that one is to Lou. It's special to us too, man. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Lou's a great guy, and that's a great stick every year, man.
Yeah, that's a cigar that holds a lot of weight. So it'll be definitely something that I would like to smoke with that time to sit back and reminisce and enjoy the cigar.
Agreed.
So the final one is I saw a lot of people talking about this one, which was going to be the next firecracker. I know a lot of brands have jumped into the little firecracker cigar, and so we have it. McAuliffe Black Firecracker now ships to stores. United Cigars has begun shipping the McAuliffe Black Firecracker to limited edition to stores today, with limited qualities produced. This fiery tribute to the spirit of independence, this limited edition cigar is a powerful collaboration offering aficionados a true unique experience that captures the essence of freedom and celebration. The McAuliffe Black Firecracker stands out with the distinctive United Firecracker fuse design crafted from Mexican San Andreas Maduro wrapper leaf, a visual representation of its namesake. Measuring in a compact yet powerful 3.5 by 50, this full-bodied cigar delivers an explosion of flavor in every puff, keeping the tradition of the firecracker. McAuliffe has added a bit of additional punch to this Vitola. McAuliffe Black Firecracker wrapped in a rich Mexican San Andreas leaf with an Ecuadorian binder and Nicaraguan fillers. The McAuliffe Black Firecracker is a powerful representation of the line. Rolled with precision at the McAuliffe Cigars SA factory in Nicaragua, this collaboration could set a new standard for strength and body when it comes to firecrackers limited releases. The suggested retail price is going to be about $9 per cigar, packaged in boxes of 20, making it a perfect addition for the 4th of July celebration, whether you're lighting up the toast of freedom or you're savoring a moment to commemorate. The McAuliffe Black Firecracker promises to deliver an unforgettable experience. And that comes from Dave at the Cigar Authority.
I enjoy that size cigar, man. That's always a good one. And if McAuliffe's involved, I'm interested. So yeah, got to find a couple of them, man.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that I really like too. It's one of those that if you can find one that burns well, tastes well, and things like that, it's one that you can smoke quick when you need one.
Absolutely.
So I enjoy that one. So the last little bit of stuff that we got to get to is going to be that Meanwhile in Memphis. So Are you ready for some Meanwhile in Memphis?
I am.
All right. So before we do that one, we do need to talk to one of our newer sponsors, and that is Hayes Gray Cigars. Meanwhile in Memphis is brought to you by Hayes Gray Cigars. No fluff, no filler, just hard-hitting, hand-rolled heat. Veteran-owned and U.S. made, these cigars are built for those who know the value of quality and aren't afraid to burn it. These ain't some gas station cigars. Hayes Gray's delivers bold flavor, a smooth draw, and a rock-solid construction that doesn't flinch. Whether you're posting out on the porch or in mid-conversation about the world going sideways, Hayes Gray doesn't miss. So if you're done with weak smoke and weak excuses, light up something real. Light up Hayes Gray. Grab yours now at wardogsbc.com or follow them on Instagram at Hayes_Gray_cigars. And a huge thanks to everybody over at Hayes Gray. Guys, you are freaking fantastic. We love having you on the pod, and we love that you've decided to be one of our sponsors.
Thank you.
So are you ready for some Meanwhile?
Let's go.
Let's hit it.
Memphis, it's happening again. Meanwhile in Memphis, the sky turns wild. Stray gators and pools running free and wild. Some guys wearing mud boots with a suit on trial. Meanwhile in Memphis, let's stay here a while.
That's what I'm saying.
Love that song, man. Meanwhile in Memphis. So my first story of the night follows up on I believe we've already touched on this. There's been a big problem down here with Facebook Marketplace and people basically scamming people to rob them of the money they're going to pay for whatever they had. It's happened. I think I've read 2 stories already over the past year of the same thing happening, but this one gets a little crazy. So 2 are shot after Facebook Marketplace car deal in Fraser turns violent, police say. Memphis, Tennessee. A Facebook marketplace car deal in Frazier turned into violence on Saturday night as 2 men were left with gunshot wounds, police said. MPD said officers were called just after 6:30 p.m. to the furniture rental store Bestway on Thomas Street, where 2 men were possibly struck by gunfire. Witnesses told investigators that they saw an exchange of gunfire between 2 groups. Later, the 2 men believed to have been connected with the shooting at Bestway arrived at North Methodist Hospital with gunshot wounds. MPD previously reported that they arrived in separate private vehicles. So apparently they were driven there by somebody. A man told investigators that he saw him and his girlfriend drove from Mississippi to Memphis to purchase a black Camaro that they had found on Facebook Marketplace. As the exchange of the money and the title was about to take place, the guy said, "Bro, that was all fake." And he pulled a gun on him. The victim advised that he had asked for the car keys and he had left the suspect's vehicle. The suspect grabbed him by the shirt, leading to his girlfriend firing shots. So the first shots that were fired on this was the girlfriend of the people that were being basically taken. Yeah. The man told investigators that he had fired shots at the suspect after the suspect dropped his weapon. Oh, so the guy dropped his weapon. The guy that was being robbed picked up the weapon and also fired shots at the guy. So the girl in the car and the guy that dropped his weapon fired shots off first. So the two people that showed up at the hospital were the guys that were trying to run the scam. There was never that's
the right way that it should have happened.
It should have, yeah.
You try to screw somebody over, you should be the first ones to the hospital.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so those 2 guys are awaiting trial for running this scam. The other 2 were basically questioned and released because they were firing off rounds at people. But it's all good, man.
All right,
never
so
a 24 black Camaro.
This shit's happening around here as well, and it's stupid. And the people around here that are being targeted are grandmas and grandpas.
Yeah. Terrible.
So I was talking to one of the cops that he patrols the area that I work in, and we were just talking about it. And he said, if you could advise anybody of what to do when dealing with any Facebook marketplace or anything like that, he said, and I will promise you, there will not be one police department that will ever say anything negative about it. Schedule every drop off in the police department parking lot.
That's fucking smart. Absolutely.
He said there's not one cop at the police department that will say anything bad about you doing that. He said because they already understand. They don't want to have to go to these calls. They don't want to have to deal with this. They don't want to have to deal with Mamaw being beat up, shot up in the hospital because she thought she was going to sell something to somebody. So his advice was tell everybody that if they're going to set up a deal on Facebook Marketplace, the place that you meet is the local police department's parking lot.
Bro, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I love it. Man. There's your advice for the night, everybody. That's brilliant. I love it. All right, so we got 2 more quick ones. That's what she said. Yeah.
Ah!
The first one is teen injured after being run off the road and shot in the foot.
That's already funny.
It is.
Sorry.
A 17-year-old boy was left injured after being shot late Tuesday night in Whitehaven, according to Memphis police. Around 11:13 p.m., officers say there was a call for a shooting at a home on a 1400 block of Winfield Road, where a teen was found suffering from a gunshot wound in his right foot. The victim told police that he was picking his brother up from work when he saw him involved in a verbal engagement with a coworker. The brother and the coworker reportedly had previous altercations. When the victim and his brother stopped at a red light on Airways Boulevard
and Holmes Boulevard, causing a disturbance in the road. After the victim made it to the intersection of Holmes Road, the suspect allegedly hit the vehicle, pulled out a gun. This is when the brother, who was in the altercation, exited the car and ran through a field.
Nice.
The guy that hit him with the car shot him in the foot. He reached in basically through the window, shot him in the foot, and he left. The brother left. The other guy called the police. Yeah. If you have any information that could help police, call Crime Stoppers. Everybody knows who this is. The guy that got shot knows who this is. Why are we still calling? The guy's still on the run. I don't know. He shot the guy in the right foot. I have no idea what's going on. All right, so here's the last one. Woman shot in the head during shootout outside of restaurant, police say. Yeah, this one's kind of serious. I won't go into a whole lot of detail, but Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis Police Department has arrested and charged 2 suspects in connection with a shootout at the restaurant. Oh, man, where'd it go?
Waffle House?
No, it's tequila something. And now I swear it cuts off some of my story. When officers arrived, they spoke to a security guard who was informed that a man and his wife, later identified as blah, 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 they were irate because they were cut off at the bar. According to the affidavit, these 2 people were escorted outside the business by security. During the escort, the man claimed, "Y'all done fucked up now." MPD says he opened the door, he retrieved a gun from the car, and began firing shots at the security guard. The security guard fired back in self-defense.
Like you would.
Him and his wife left the scene but were later captured. Both of them are facing charges of attempted first-degree murder, vandalism, and employment of a firearm. I don't know what that is. So yeah, they were both drunk, escorted from the restaurant. You done fucked up now. He fired at the security guard, hit some other lady in the head who's now in critical condition. I hope she recovers. It's not great, but wow, yeah, tequila. I don't know why I can't find the name of the restaurant. It was tequila something. But
that's our new sticker. You done fucked up.
You done fucked up now. But yeah, welcome to another crazy week in Memphis, man. It's always something, brother.
So, meanwhile in Memphis,
it's happening
Meanwhile
again.
in Memphis, it's happening again. Meanwhile in Memphis, the sky turns wild. Stray gators and poles running free and wild. Some guys wearing mud boots with a suit on trial. Meanwhile in Memphis, let's stay here a while.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so for those of you crazy people who are still with us after 3 hours, it was another long one. So we don't apologize, because if you were actually here and you listened to the interview, the guys that we had on here are absolutely fantastic. We smoked the Veiled Mutiny tonight. It gets a combined score of a 94 from us. So, I mean, that's a freaking fantastic cigar. Huge thanks to everybody who listened and commented and all that wonderful stuff. Next week is a bye week. Mick was on vacation for 2.5 months, so I'm going on vacation for a week. It is mine and my wife's anniversary, 11 years. So we are going to go. We take this trip every year to the same area. We are leaving out in about 6 hours. We will leave out in about 6 hours to head to Morehead City, North Carolina, where we're going to watch a couple of baseball games. And then we're going to, Saturday, we're going to drive the coast down. We're going to stop. We're going to go tour the USS North Carolina. We're going to check that out. We're going to travel down probably towards Myrtle Beach, Myrtle's Inlet. Going to go check out the cigar shops out that way. And then we're going to head into Georgetown and Charleston area. So we will be out in the Somerville, Charleston area for the next 6 or 7 days. If anybody's out there, hit us up. Let us know. We're always going to be in a cigar lounge about every evening. So come out, say hi. I'm bringing some stickers out with us. So come join up with us and get a picture and all that wonderful stuff. We'd love to say hi to you. So Let's see. Cigars with Angel. He's on here. He's one of them crazy people who's joining us after 3 hours. Says, great show. Enjoy your vacation. I will most definitely do that one. I will be posting a lot from on there. Definitely going to be posting some stuff. Some pictures and stuff like that. May even do a live while we're out there, because we always do a walk, or we always stay in Somerville area. So the way we end our night is to go walk around the town while I smoke a cigar and have a drink or so, and we sit out there and just talk and whatever. So there may be a night that I go live on there just to see if I can pick up anybody and see if we can say hi to everybody. So huge thanks to everybody who joined us tonight.
I will say, amazing night. I can't thank you enough for what you do, man. I know we do this a lot, but amazing time. Enjoy your time off. I know tonight was. I know you were flustered when we first started, man. It was you had just got home, but you still pulled it off, man. And like we always do, we put together a pretty great show, man. So I appreciate everything you do, seriously, and enjoy your vacation. You earned it tremendously, and much love. And take time this week, smoke a cigar with someone you love, and I'm out.
All right. It's been a fantastic night. Love ending season 2 of the Real Smoke podcast. Can't wait for season 3 to start. And if you guys don't know and you didn't hear, and you're one of the people that are just now joining us, we are going again next week. We will have a bye week. The week after that, we pick back up, and we will be doing the first podcast for the people who were brought together to bring everybody the Penelope Bourbon Cigar Blend. So we will have Sin Coburn, Josh Coburn, Lee Marsh, Donnie, and there is a great chance that we're going to have one, if not both, founders of Penelope on as well. So that's going to be a fantastic episode. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, do all the wonderful things that you do on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and all of our other socials. So hope everybody has a fantastic evening. We guys will see you in 2 weeks. So have a great night. Peace, guys.
See you.
Thank you for tuning in. The Real Smoke Podcast makes us all grin. You light us up, you keep us